men learn about sex from porn, then
Yeah.
women learn about sex
From
from men.
men.
Men, yeah,
So
very
you
true.
have a lot of women taking the lead of men, and it's
And
like
porn is such a rubbish depiction of how sex is
such
supposed to
a
be. Like
Yeah.
such a
like people
Rubbish.
forget
useless.
that
Yeah.
porn is acting. They're
It
trying
is
to make you sit
TV.
down and watch. They're
Watch it,
trying to.
because like they're
So
trying to
yes,
make
it,
their
it has
money.
its
Mm-hmm.
uses. There are things that you can learn from porn, but you should not have any. You should not have zero knowledge about sex or watch it. But unfortunately, for the reality of Nigeria, you you have a lot of people whose their first experience was not consensual.
Hi, my name is Jemlyo, singer, songwriter, and actor. Yeah.
Fair enough. Hi, my name is Hausa Chocolate. I'm a sexual wellness advocate, a sex therapist, and the host of Spit or Swallow podcast.
Hi, my name is Tracy. I like to refer to myself as a corporate baddie, and I'm also a content creator.
Hi, my name is Sillylostpoet. I'm a model and a content creator, and
We're
we are
live
live
at
at
Clout
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 Africa.
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 What would you do better as a mother? Wow.
Hmm.
Deep.
That's
Straight
Wow.
very
off
deep.
the
That's a
bat.
very deep question.
How many kids do you have?
Let's calm
How many
down.
kids do you plan to have?
I used to
Exactly.
Okay,
say I
let's
wanted
ask.
5 kids. However, the economy is
Mm.
screaming.
Hmm.
The economy is shouting right now. So I'm thinking maybe like 3 to 4, depending on how I'm
That's
feeling.
decent.
That's so much.
Like,
Yeah.
right? Like some people are like 2 kids and that's it. But what I would do differently as a mother, I think I would, my major like thing that I would like try and, do is be my kids' friends. Like everyone says, I'm not one of your little friends. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, like you guys are strangers. You're meeting yourself for the first time ever. So like, why the hell are you going to now be an aggressive force in this person's life that you don't really know that much? Like you're getting to know each other. You should do that like as their friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would focus on like being my kids' friends more, like having them being open and honest with me rather than all this corner stuff that gets you nowhere. What do you think you guys would do differently as parents?
I mean, personally, I do not want to have kids, but
I respect.
if I was going to, I think like basically just like having like a good friendship with your children, because I feel like one of the like biggest issues I had growing up was like having like a friendship with my mom. She didn't really understand like anything, but like getting older, like at some point you're able to like communicate that we should be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that only happened for a short while because like my mom passed this year, and so like
Sorry.
it's like 2-3 years of like having that
A good
friendship and actually
friendship.
now agreeing and then fighting other people that are trying to piss us off. But yeah, like a good friendship.
No.
Yeah. Well, me, I think I would be more patient and like try to understand that this is like their first time in this world and they don't come into the world knowing everything. Like, you actually have to have that patience to teach them things about the world and how to be and how to like what's the word to use?
Like navigate the world.
Yes, and how to navigate the world. Yeah.
I'd say for me, similar to you, I can't say for sure that I want to have kids, honestly. So, when I saw that question, I'm like, who said they want kids in the first place? Um, I'm still, let's see, in my current ages, maybe when I love how Naomi Campbell had a kid when she was 50. Yeah, it's like,
Like
maybe
Yeah,
it's
so
not a
like
hard
Yeah.
lived
no.
life.
Yeah, it's not a hard no, but
Yeah.
it's not something that I aspire to. I look forward to, like, it's a serious decision.
yeah.
But I think similar to you guys, what I would do differently. Honestly, I think that the kind of relationship I had growing up was different from a lot of people. So I had that, like,
Oh my god, I was going to say the same thing, that I had a
friendship.
very good friendship and
Yeah,
I had a very good
so
friendship.
yeah,
I do
so
not have
so
that. So
having
you
that
guys are lucky.
Yeah, so like I
having
had more of that with my dad than
mm,
my
I
mom.
don't even
I think I
speak to
had
my
that
dad
with
that
my
much,
But
but
me
with
and
grandmother.
my
my dad are
mom.
best friends.
yeah, so yeah, like just having that relationship where I think a lot of people infantilize children and they
Yeah.
forget that they're their own person, like they have
Yeah.
thoughts, they have their own
Which are just children.
personality,
Yeah. Very
and it's
true.
not, I mean, yes, we're giving grace to parents because the same way kids is their first school, a lot of times
Mm.
parents is their
The
first school
first
as
go,
parents,
yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
find that many of them are passing on things that
The
they
trauma they
learned.
didn't even know.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're passing on trauma and all of that stuff. So I personally believe in gentle parenting. I don't believe in beating kids. I don't believe in smacking kids. Some people split the jury on that, but for me, disciplining with violence is
It's not
abuse.
Yeah, it's not the
discipline.
Yeah,
Like
it's
answer.
abuse. If you're hitting your child, something
why
is
do
Because
you
if
wrong
you
hit a
if you
somewhere.
baby?
if you hit an adult now, it's
That's
abuse.
abuse.
So
Exactly.
So
So why
why
would
what's
you hit,
yeah, why is it
a
okay to hit
little
a
one?
child?
So for me, it's definitely going to be more of conscious and gentle parenting, for sure, I would say. And then obviously trying to cultivate a relationship. Me and my home, we're gonna be the wokest of the woke. But so yeah, I think that's just what it is. Where it's a space where they can be themselves,
Yeah.
and just trying to understand as well, because I find that for a lot of people there's this, because of some people it's the generational gap as well. People are like, oh, Gen Z. It's kind of weird when I find like millennials
I
like me
hate that word.
antagonizing Gen Z,
Like, and
and
like
it's like,
you're
you
so
guys are,
focused on Gen Z, and you're not even,
yeah,
I
Yeah,
don't say Gen Z this much, but
I
yeah.
why are
don't
you
even
so?
say the
yeah,
word.
Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, many of you, and I mean, I'm a millennial, so like it's like a lot of us are repeating patterns that, it's like, why are you becoming your dad and your mom, and then
yeah,
why are you antagonizing these young ones and saying
Yeah.
children of this generation? Like it's like, if you understand them and where they're coming from, you wouldn't have so much of an issue. So
yeah.
That
yeah,
makes sense.
that's what I think.
I think you're meant to pick now.
Oh, okay. Does it say? At what age would you have preferred to be taught sex education? So similar to like a lot of people, I'll say my own answer is different from the average person in Nigeria, but I think that sex education is not something that one stops. It
No.
just evolves according to
Your
age.
age,
Yeah,
yeah.
And
very
so
true.
a lot of things that I feel like I learned age appropriately. Like there are certain things that, at certain ages in my house, I knew what, body parts were and all of those things. But there was never any like real, sex education in terms of, I guess in the pleasure aspects, because when I think about stuff like periods, because those are parts of sex education as well, I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah,
like, I had a good enough background. And even in school as well, they did like the basic, biology stuff, reproduction, etc, etc. So I'll just speak more on a general one. I think that we just need to incorporate it more in schools and just do
Yeah.
it in like an age appropriate manner
yeah,
where for different classes,
It's
that
different
you
things.
yeah,
exactly, you're
yeah,
teaching them good touch, bad touch, you're teaching them, consent, you're teaching them how their bodies evolve. Yet then it gets to a point where it's like protection and all that stuff. Because if you don't teach your kids, their
They'll
their
fuck
friends will teach
around.
them, or
yeah.
they'll find out,
Someone
or
teach them.
God forbid they'll be abused, and that's
And
how
they
they
get to
Yeah,
find
that's
out,
how
experience it.
they'll know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my own
I think I
opinion.
agree with you. I feel like, well, personally, I think like for like the basics of like don't let someone touch you here, touch you. I think like from like
That's very
yeah,
early.
like I don't know. I don't want to put an age to it, but like 5, 6, because
No, I feel
like
Honestly, from
like
when
I
you're
feel like
from
three
two,
is
honestly,
yeah,
from
so
two, yeah, when your
yeah,
child
from
so
can
like yeah,
use.
so like
yeah.
really young for that, but then for like other things that are more advanced, like so I think when you get into, I feel like they should probably put in like the curriculum of like
I don't
secondary
know how we're
school.
going to
Yeah.
get to
Yes,
that
and like
point. When they
Nigerians
put it
don't
in
like, yes,
Nigerian
they don't like
curriculum, they don't like
to.
hearing about
And
To
sex.
them,
also,
it's bad.
what you said about us never speaking about the pleasure aspect of sex education is so apt because they will talk about everything else.
Yeah,
They will talk
Yeah.
about all the periods, all the possible like shenanigans, except for
Yeah.
yeah,
the actual important. Like sex is
so,
a lot of this is for pleasure. Like okay,
yeah,
yeah, reproduction, but people are
That's
doing
just
it so
mm,
one tiny ad.
exactly
Like if you put a
like
list of 50,
you have
reproduction is literally one random
yeah,
reason why people
people
have
have sex
sex. Yeah.
exactly. So I really do not understand why. I mean, I get it,
Yeah,
like
it's the
culturally, I
like
Yeah.
get why we don't
restriction of
speak
like
about it.
traditions and
However,
culture.
I do think that's something that like we need to start talking about more. Like girls do not know that sex is not meant to be painful. For instance, like you're not meant to
yeah,
be knocking me. Like don't touch me like that. Like stop that.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
understand? Like a
Yeah.
lot of girls will just like take it however it comes because in their head that's how it's meant to be. Oh, nice, it's rough. No, like the boy is doing too
It's
much.
so
Mhm.
rubbish.
He
Yeah.
I
doesn't
don't
know what
even
he's
think
doing.
majority of them have an idea of what it's
It's
supposed
supposed
to
to be
be.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
they don't
So I
have
think
an
the thing
idea
is
at
that
all.
like saying that like, oh, let's wait for it to get to the curriculum doesn't really work because it's just something that will be really hard to like implement to Nigerians because they're so
Whoever is
judgmental,
teaching us
Yeah,
something.
it's
right?
very, very
So yes,
I
judgmental.
think what it
it's not
is
even
for
just
like
the teachers. So I had a sex educator on my podcast, and one of the major things she highlighted is the schools might be on board, but a lot of parents
Yeah.
fight
Don't, yeah.
against
Yes.
sex education, and they'll say, "Don't worry, I'll give my child sex education at home." But then because they, and a lot of them are like, "It's a lie. My child is too young to know all
Yeah.
of that stuff," and they don't understand that nobody's coming to show your child porn in class.
Mm-hmm.
They're
yeah.
literally educating them, and when they talk to a lot of these kids, they already know what's going on. Your
Bro,
children are
Yeah.
more
like
advanced, and on the downside of that, you find that a lot of children have been molested and abused,
Yeah.
Yes.
or they have people touching them
more time they didn't
inappropriately.
even know that it was
Yes,
molestation.
Yes.
and
Yes.
they
You
don't
won't
even know. They
know.
just know it feels bad, but they don't know
Mhm.
where to go. And then if you're doing that, you're already passing the message that sex is a shameful subject.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
shameful.
And so they can't talk about it because God forbid something happens, you now make them feel like they're the problem and they can't
Yeah.
come to you. So
That
it's
was such a
sad.
big thing
Yeah.
throughout my whole secondary school experience. Like that whole thing of making girls uncomfortable, and it's more time it's the girls. Like they're not going to make a fuss about sex talks with the boys. It's the girls. I
Yes, girls,
remember
your skirt
them
is too short.
even.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember them even like separating us in classes, and the boys apparently in there like we talk after. The boys would like have had just a fun time. Their teacher would just have been playing. Us, they're sitting down there telling us, if they touch you,
You
you
get
get you.
I feel
pregnant,
like
you die.
at a
Yeah.
very
God.
young age they start sexualizing girls too
Yeah,
much,
of
and
Yes.
it's
Of
just
course.
course.
wrong. Yeah.
Yup.
And the sexualization comes with slut shaming as well, because it's
Yes.
That
like,
was
They might
the
not
oh,
be doing anything
yes.
bad, and they'll
And
just
next
be
thing
just
is,
for
insulting
being a
you.
why
pussy
is
and all of
your
that.
Yes.
why is your skirt
Why is
this
your skirt
short?
Short.
short? Why is your skirt
You
slim
have
fitted?
exactly, you have schools where
Yeah.
they'll change the skirts of the girls from
Oh no,
pencil
they do that
skirts
Yes, to
to
flex.
fresh
And
to
even when
skirts.
yeah.
it's flex, the problem because like I went to a school where like I was in boarding school and we used to wear flex skirts. Like I said, I had like a really good relationship with my dad, right? So like I would go to school with skirts and they'll be like it's too short. My dad would be sending me more short skirts. Like you're not going to frustrate my child. Be so for real.
I was always
Yeah.
a tall girl, so it doesn't matter if they gave me my size of
It would
skirts. It
just
will
be
just be
short.
short, and it was
Yeah.
always an issue. I remember my English teacher; she just didn't like me because of the way I looked. She was like, like you know what you're doing to these boys. You need to stop. I'm like, I know what I'm doing
Do you
to
know what's
these
funny?
Yeah,
So
boys.
that's
the
so
thing is that
wild.
like it's so silly because even you think like it stops with like secondary schools and stuff like
No,
that.
it
Even
just
to
No.
grows.
when like I went to a private uni and I remember wearing like a shared shirts that was black,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a friend that wore the same thing. Like we had the same outfit, and like my porter literally said that my skin is shining through the top, but she let my friend go.
It's a body type thing as well.
Yeah.
So
And if you
like
have a larger body, they always have a
Yep.
problem with it, like as
Yes.
if it's your fault.
No, that also happens. Bigger women often definitely get more sexualized, but it's
Yeah.
just like, do you want them to cut off their body
And you
hair
can't do that. They can't
just
do
to,
that
yeah,
now. That's
exactly.
very
So it's
impossible.
kind of
so
ridiculous.
yeah.
Alright, sorry, before you pick, is this your phone?
Yes.
My toes have been called.
Okay, no, that's fine. Don't worry about that. Yeah. All of you get excited is my friend. My female friend.
No,
We go crazy, go
like, no,
stupid, man.
we're just hoping
I'm
it's not your
joking.
boss. Yeah.
Uh okay. If you were to create a law that would benefit women, what would that be?
So introspective.
There's so many things. This is such like a very I don't even know where to start from. I can't think because there's so much. There's so much.
Jail all men for
Oh,
6 months.
oh.
And let them
Just
Why
put
so
them in jail.
bad?
we
Lele.
Then
do.
let them prove their innocence out. It's from your
Are
behavior
you?
that you come out once. Jail all men. First of all.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know. Like first thing that comes to my mind, even though like, cause they're like different topics to touch,
Yeah, I feel
right?
like
Yeah,
it's so
very different
broad.
So
topics.
my thing, especially because like I'm not anti-children or anything. Nobody should get me wrong. I really love
Fuck them,
kids.
please.
I
But
love no. Do you know what's funny? I really love kids. I just don't think that I have the capacity to take care of
And that's
any.
on it. You see, that's the very
That's
perfect
just what
stance
it
that
is.
you
It's not that
have.
I don't love
Be
kids. I
honest.
I go to orphanages and I just want to see children. I love them, but I just don't have the capacity for like to take care of them. Now the thing for this particular question is like the aspect of like pregnancies. So, like um I was like doing like a little thing about like, birth control basically for like, people because a lot of people like market women and stuff. They don't know about like, having birth control, what they call them
Family
again,
planning.
Contraception.
contraceptives,
Contraception.
family planning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I realized that like it's always so much the women, the women, the women. Because sometimes like
Ugh.
women, give like couples have like all partners have like multiple children, and then you hear them saying that like she's giving birth so much, she's giving birth so much, and that bothers me because like okay, no
Why
problem,
is
she
the
should get.
onus on
Why
her?
can't
We
you
need
get a vasectomy?
vasectomies to
Yes,
be
that's my
Yeah.
thing. I
more.
think that they should implement that law. I think it will favor women more because like she can't get pregnant on her own.
But
And
what would the
also
law
like
be though? Because you can't.
I
Because
think
at
I
what
feel like
point
they
does
should
it?
have
Yeah. At
like
what
a
point is it
so. Like
controlling of the body?
I
What do you mean?
think I think that like so what I'm saying is that like most times when people have so many children, they tend to blame the women
Mm-hmm.
and be like it's because this that. I feel like contracts, like if you're getting married, you should be able to yes, you should be able to agree that okay, we're going to have 3 children. After that, you get a vasectomy. I
Yeah.
get like we have to agree because like
I feel like what it
men are
is
always
I
like,
is
is
get
it
that.
reversible? Is it
yes, it
Yeah.
is.
there's a
I think that
contraceptive
what
in
the
my body.
law should be is
I'm not
that
complaining.
the
Mm-hmm.
law should be related to like more visibility for vasectomies. Like the way
Yeah.
that they put pressure into all these walking into a store and being able to see birth control or like talking about they should do the same thing with media wise for vasectomy so that people understand that it's
Abortion
safe.
should also be legalized.
Is it
Honestly.
illegal in
Yeah,
Yes.
Nigeria?
it
Yeah, it
is.
is.
Mm,
It
it's
is.
illegal.
Crazy.
I know, but do you know the reason why like nobody really does that is illegal? Because a lot of
People
people
do
get it
it
done.
like
They get
what
it
are we
done anyway.
saying?
They get it done
So
anyway.
so
From
like
down
the
the
laws
road
are
to the
strict.
hospital.
Yeah.
Like nah. But laws for women, I think what I would like be interested in is trafficking. I think we don't talk about how big an issue trafficking is in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Almost every single day, people are picked off the streets for so
Yeah.
and so reason, never to be seen again. And I feel like that is so scary. Like knowing that someone can just be there and not be there all of a sudden is so scary. And like I've always been interested in this type of thing. So I spent like in secondary school, I used my project to talk to girls who had been trafficked and found their way back and everything. So I think there should be more stringent laws, especially concerning house helps and stuff, because that's how it starts. You
Yes,
Yeah.
grab one small
yes.
girl and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, so many
nah.
Nigerians are slave owners
Mm-mm.
and slave
Yeah.
drivers because that the household culture that we have here, even
Horrible.
workers is
Crazy.
Oh my
a
god,
lot
did
of
you
it is
guys see that
So
illegal.
tweet of this one guy who he tweeted that like the way some of you guys treat your house help should be kiniko kiniko. Then his neighbor happened to find him and posted a picture of what he himself does to his own household. She had like wells all over her arm. A
so
grown lady,
crazy.
she had wells all over her arm, and they're like, "Oh, you that
Was it
you're
really
talking."
him?
Yes.
That's
Yes,
insane.
So
like apparently it
That's
was
insane.
a problem
insane.
in their whole like area. Like everyone knew that he was hurting like his house help. And now coming on Twitter shouting, all of you that
So
And
do you even
always
know the
bold
thing?
on Twitter.
Do you know the thing
So
about that
bold.
person just in general? Like I don't want to make conclusions, but I'm sure it's not just the house help, probably treats women like that in
yeah, in
general.
Yeah.
general.
So like sometimes it's just not restricted to like is it's just how people behave and it's crazy because there are people that treat their helps really nice,
I
really
learned
super
that from my
But
nice.
mom.
honestly, even with treating helps really nice, at what point is it still benevolent slavery
It
and
still
benevolent
Mm-hmm.
is.
grooming in
Really
some
and
way?
truly, it's
Because you
always
carry, yeah,
that.
because okay, you take a 12, 15, 16, 18 year
Yeah.
old, you say, okay, and she's the house of but we paid her school fees. So
Yeah.
you paid her school fees, that's the price you pay for that person. If
Do
she had a
hard
choice,
labor.
would she
Be
be
there.
in your house? And
Yeah.
because there are no labor laws, so that's the thing about like implementing having the laws is one thing, but
Implementing
implementation
it
and
is another
enforcement is
thing.
also another thing, because you have people have these living nannies that they can't watch TV, they sleep on the floor, they literally work round the clock. You have a
Oh,
household that's is sleeping at 10 p.m. Your friends come over, you wake the house up to cook, to do this, then you expect them to wake up by 5 a.m.
So take
and
care of the
then they
kids,
continue. Do you
bat the
understand?
kids,
A
do
lot of these
this.
ones, sometimes even when people have older women, the women have children, they leave their children behind. You don't
with
allow
this
them go
child.
home. Maybe they do one weekend, every other weekend, or once a month type stuff. So then every time we always talk about government or the country or
Oh
this, but
no,
people, we need
Nigerians
to
are
no
horrible.
Nigerians now. We need to look within. So for me, it's just gonna be um first of all, enforcing a lot of, because you have, okay, now there's the VAP Acts and all of these things, enforcing the laws that we have in place, and like having more people. How many rape convictions have we had in Nigeria?
No. I
So it's
think
like,
a
yes, okay, we can,
lot.
but I think the first thing would even be to
Nah,
review
they really
The
the
convict.
rape
Mm.
review
laws.
forgetting rape laws, the entire constitution, and you know try and take out the sexism that is there, because I know if we sit down and we see how much power we have as Nigerian women, it's just because this country is largely lawless and everybody takes matters into their
There's
own
just,
hands.
do you
Yeah.
know the thing is that like there's just so
There's
much
just so
going on.
much, yeah.
The country is in chaos.
Yeah.
For you to start thinking about laws, there are people that are not even eating,
Yeah.
that don't
It's-
have their daily bread. You now start
Even
thinking
the
about the
even the
People are
laws.
laws,
so
how many people
crazy.
know any of the laws that we even
People,
have?
there's no education about it. Like civic education is almost like a joke at this point. Like
It's definitely
And
a
even if you,
joke.
yeah, and if you talk about legal processes as well, okay, getting the lawyer, how long it takes
the
for you to even get
process.
redress from a court case. That's why people will always choose jungle justice over,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's,
Twitter and the likes.
honestly, if
Twitter,
Twitter is
Twitter is
faster,
helping a
yeah,
lot.
Twitter helps
Twitter
a
gets
lot.
the
helping a
work
lot.
done.
Yeah.
So I guess.
You didn't tell us. Did you tell us what you do? No, silly. Everyone have said it already.
So do you believe experience is the best teacher?
Are we talking about okay? This topic is sex, so for sex, Abby.
Is the topic about sex? Only
We're talking
sex.
about sex, so that question has to do it, but it is related
So
to sex, Abby.
sex education.
Okay.
Do you believe
Okay.
experience is the best teacher?
I mean, sometimes I don't believe if we're talking about sex, I don't think sex. Some sexual experience are not
Doesn't
the
teach you
best. It doesn't
anything.
teach you anything, especially when you're having sex for the first time. And we don't really have like sex education in Nigeria, so it's really hard to know what to expect from sex and what to do right and what not to do. So experience is not the best teacher at all.
Okay, so
It's not.
I have a contrary opinion.
same.
Calm
I
down.
mean, if we're talking about sex,
Yeah,
but I
Yeah,
mean, you guys can take
so
the floor.
I
Well,
feel
I
like
mean,
I
there's
feel like
different.
Yeah.
yeah, so like obviously like experiences are different, but like I feel like you cannot just, it has to be a theory thing. It can't just be like I'm reading it, I'm hearing it.
It's very
And
No,
also it's
practical.
practical. So
no,
when I say
it's practical, but like let's say now you're having sex for the first time, you don't know
yeah.
anything about it, you don't even know what to do, if you're supposed to use lube or how it's supposed to be and whatever, and then you go in experiencing it like that, so painful, so raw and
Yeah, so
so
that's the thing.
rough.
That's
That's the
the
Wow.
lesson.
teaching. So
It's
you
It's
know next
literally
time.
the lesson.
because
You're
you'll
like
be like,
you
if it's that
if you feel
painful to you, you'll be
pain,
telling
I think
someone
then
to.
you now want to ask questions like, is
That
this
why
right?
is it supposed to be
Is this
painful?
correct?
But do you know what's
I
so
mean,
crazy? Do you
am
know
I
what
doing
I
the
But
right
like,
thing?
found?
okay, what if
Do you know
you're not
something?
comfortable asking all those questions
A
now?
lot of people aren't. Do you know something that's so? That's the point I was just about to make. Something so scary I found out is that I know so many girls who are having painful sex and they just think it's just because
Yeah.
that's how it's meant to be. Like it's painful. You're hurting after. You can't sit down. You can't stand, and you think it's
I
okay.
don't know. I don't want to sound like that person, but like if you're having sex and you're not bold enough to kind of like, well, everybody's different, but like you're not bold enough to kind of ask, like if you feel pain and like you can't ask someone if this is wrong, then you probably shouldn't be having sex.
But
You
Maybe.
shouldn't. No, that's you're
the
right.
funny
But
thing is that sex is always looked at like a taboo and looked so shameful. And then who are you going to ask? Are you going to go and ask your mom,
they
your
play.
dad
Oh, I'm
now?
going
How?
hospital
Ask your friends.
ASAP.
Yes, go to the
Like
hospital.
I'm
So
going hospital.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, this is something that would be localized to everybody's personal
Experience.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Experience I mean, in life, I don't believe that experience is always the
The best
best
teacher.
teacher.
yeah.
Um, or I don't believe my own experience is the best. I can use
Your
you
own
as case
experience.
study. And when it comes to sex, like it's 50-50 because um sex isn't something that you should have with zero. Yeah,
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge. Oh,
you can't be like, I don't know what to, like, it's crazy that someone will have sex
And
and they don't even know
they don't know
anything. You just enter
anything.
bed. Oh yeah. And you don't know, do you get?
and but
So
Yeah.
it's crazy that
That
happens
happens a
more
Yeah,
often
lot.
but
than
it
and
not.
it
happens a
does
lot.
happen because one, lack of sex education, too. Like no one speaks about it.
Yeah.
Some people don't even know um um how sex is even had. And that's why something I always used to say on my podcast was men learn about sex from porn, then
Yeah.
women learn about sex
From
from
men.
men.
Men, yeah,
So
very
you
true.
have a lot of women taking the lead of men, and it's
And
like,
porn is such a rubbish depiction of how sex is
Such
supposed to
yes,
be. Like
Yeah.
such a
like people
rubbish.
forget
useless.
that
Yeah.
porn is acting. They're
It
trying
is
to make you sit
TV.
down and watch. They're
Watch it,
trying to.
cause like they're
So
trying to
yes,
make
it,
their
it has
money.
its
Mm-hmm.
uses. There are things that you can learn from porn, but you should not have any. You should not have zero knowledge about sex or watch it. But unfortunately, for the reality of Nigeria, you you have a lot of people whose their first experience was not consensual.
Yeah.
House helps.
So forgetting even house helps and all of that. Even
Like
people who were in proper
proper
relationships,
Yeah.
because
relationships.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, and there's so many reasons for this. First of all, you have me. I'm always dragging people that like age gaps, especially with younger women.
Mm.
You have women have this fantasy idea of, oh, an older guy who'll give me money, who'll do this, or people having sex
Okay,
to come out of
can we
their.
just say this? We some of us that like older men, it's not always about the money. I don't really care about your
Mm.
don't let
money.
me don't let me get into that.
It's not
Don't
about
let
the
me
It's
money.
don't let me
actually
get into
sometimes
that.
it's
You know,
not
So
about
it's,
the
okay.
I think I have.
money.
I
What it's
think
about
it's like,
what?
Well, so
They're more
when you say
mature.
older,
They'll
no, no,
okay,
no,
take
no,
care
okay,
of
no, no,
okay,
no.
you.
okay.
So
So
what do you
that
mean
when you
older?
say older men, it like
No,
older
What's
men
your
see,
is
definition
let
of
me let me
old
let
an
me
older
give
guy?
you.
well
How many years older than you?
I do,
like
let
7,
me not say my
8.
age.
No,
Give me high five.
7 8, 7 8.
It's
Are
older.
you guys 23 and these guys are 30?
No, if I
I
say
mean,
my
like
age now, you probably scream. I'm 19. You're 27. What's
You said she's
okay.
19.
What?
Is that your age?
Are you for
let's
sure?
not
Are you
let's
are
Is
you
not
that
say.
your
for
age for
real?
real?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Okay.
That's
So
Hey,
I mean,
crazy.
like
my darling.
a loss is going on right
I
now.
swear.
That
Oh,
information was so hard
30-year-old
to.
men talking to this girl. If
No,
I
and
catch
they
you,
and
when I catch you, Ricky,
they
Oh no,
be
so
when I
going
the
catch
thing
you,
is like
Ricky,
crazy.
okay, so
no,
my
no,
thing
No.
no.
is like
Hey.
7 years. I'm 24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I'm
you're
like 24.
24.
Like funny enough, like even 30 is shaky because like I don't know.
They're
I
following
like
30 plus.
yes, because let me explain. Let me explain. It has
Hmm.
nothing to do with the money. I promise you, it has nothing to do with the money. Do you know why?
Tell me what.
If you
Do you
go
think they're more
through
mature or
no,
what?
that's what I'm about to get into. So if you
Okay.
go through like my personal like thing, you see that I always hail my daddy for supporting my lifestyle so that I don't have to chase someone because of their money. Do you
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
understand? My thing is I like when I'm a very like alone person. I like to have time for myself. I don't like to be bothered. I don't like to be monitored. And with a lot of like men around my age,
They'll text you
They're less busy.
24/7.
yes, they are very less busy. They are
Mm.
very, very,
So you
very,
want the
very
busy
less
man?
busy. Yes, like I know there are women that are always like I want attention. I don't. I
Okay,
don't. Like if
I
we need
want
to
Mm-hmm.
go out
attention.
and like hang out, go for dates,
But you like
stay
older
together.
guys.
Eh?
Like
You like
The
older
older
it's
people,
not, do you
they
men.
give me a
understand?
whole lot of attention. They love to talk
Yeah.
to
So I
me.
mean, this is a
That's
mixed bag
it.
because the
I'm
it
joking.
is very
I'm joking.
it is very subjective to the person. I can understand that, yes,
Yes.
the 30 age, these are the ones that obviously they're trying to hustle and
Yes,
they're
and
Yeah.
like
figuring out
You
that
really
being
have a
there.
yes,
So
valid reason.
they're
I'm sitting out here
busy.
thinking about the
you
reason why I
know
like
it
older men.
it
Ha.
does it makes sense, but some people like older men because one, they're more mature in terms of how they deal with relationships. They have attention to give. Da, 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 da. First of all these men are cheating. Let me just tell you that one
yes,
too.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
okay,
it's not
baby.
saying
I
I'm
they
cheating
don't have
too. That's
I
more
mean,
fine. Go
fair
crazy.
enough, sir.
they don't have more knowledge or they're not more mature. It's just like you're 24, he's 30. Of course, he has lived life. It's
More
going
life
to
Yeah, he
than
look
has
like he
more
knows
you.
he
what he's
has
doing.
more
He
More
doesn't.
time
experiences.
and men.
Because if he did, he will go and be with his fellow 30-year-old because that person knows him inside
Yeah,
out.
because every older guy that specifically chooses a younger person,
They know
you know
what
what?
they're
Yeah, you know
doing.
what? Yeah, you know what you're
And
Yeah.
looking
it's for
for.
a reason.
So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like if you feel like I mean, to be honest, 24 to 30 is not really outrageous. Like I
Mm.
don't think that is that deep.
Okay, it's 19 to
If you
27 outrageous. Just genuine question.
You need
Genuine
to let us
question.
breathe.
as in,
Genuine question.
Just let us breathe.
no, I mean honestly, if I collect your phone, I'm blocking all of those men from your phone because what's that? 19 to 27.
I'm joking. I don't even be doing
Like Agbayas, that's what they are to me, honestly.
Actually,
What 90? What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you guys
crazily
talking
enough.
about?
Crazily enough. Crazily enough.
Well, because you have good conversation,
I
you're
do
mature,
have
you're
good.
smart. Oh God. I
they're
mean,
I
lying
think
to
no, to me,
you.
for
no, I
me,
think
for
you are
me, the reason
intelligent,
why for
obviously. Yeah.
me
Yeah.
is for me. I used to no, my current trajectory of men have been younger, have been closer to my age. But before, I would actively only like if I spoke to you and you said to me like at the time maybe I'm 18 and you said to me that you're 21, I'm so sorry. you are no longer an option in my eyes. That's just how I felt. And I feel
Mm.
like the reason I felt that way was because, like, all my experiences with boys my age, like, or boys around my age, were almost like so, like,
Childish.
so jovial and playful. You're just wasting my time. We're just wasting each other's time here.
Mm.
Mm.
And like I only ever felt like I was being taken seriously. Like, or like when I said something, you're actually listening to me, or we're able to have like a conversation where like you're not joking. I feel like people my age, boys my age are almost they come off like 4 years younger almost sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're 19,
There's
but
this
You
you
thing they
find
say
it
about
across the
women
span in like
maturing
faster
earlier
than the
than men.
men.
Yeah, because like
like
that's same thing with me. Like I only used to like date people my age. Like you have to be the same age with me. But then I just realized that like certain situations that will explain something to you and
you're not
you
you're not
don't
Yeah.
hearing
understand
you're
what I'm
hearing me, but you're
saying.
not listening.
And like
Like
that's
we're
so
not
Yeah,
actually
I don't
annoying.
think at that
conversing.
point they really care about what's
Yes, like
going on with
So
you.
I would what I have to say is that age is not gonna make it
Yes,
better.
no,
that's what
it's
I
Oh.
not. It's not.
But
realized.
the thing is, obviously, with more experience, there is some sort of development. However, is that thing about I hate
Sometimes
the girls mature faster than men. But
Same.
a trend I'm saying, I mean, part of the reason for the maturity is because there's more responsibility that is put on
On
us.
women,
They
Yeah.
almost
yeah.
groom us to be able to take
to
care of
be a
a
wife
home.
from
You're
Yeah.
from
already an
young.
administrator in your house. You know how you see all of these videos and TikToks when they ask women as well, when is your child's birthday, when is this, when is that.
And then
You
the
find that
men
when it comes to
don't know
like girls,
anything.
sisters will know their mother's birthday, father's birthday, you buy the gifts, you do this, you sign your name, you sign your brother's name. Women are already more
Yes.
present. And even now in the days where psychology or pop psychology is now reigning, you find women are more interested in doing the work. Even when I have events, I'm doing
Yeah,
circles, all of that
I feel
stuff.
like it
I do
might be a
candles and
woman thing.
conversation. You see women trying to develop themselves. So when we talk about people even trying to grow emotionally, women are more committed to actually doing that kind of work. And so then you now find some studies that say, oh, men's emotional maturity peaks are like 43. So
She's so
they're
fucking
already
That's
annoying.
so
behind, right?
funny.
So when I can, the
Are they
thing is,
really behind or are they choosing to be
I
I
feel
feel
behind?
like
like
It's
they
it's a
their
are choosing.
choice.
choice.
They're
Yes, I
choosing
I
to be
think that
It's
they
a
are
behind. Don't
choosing.
worry.
They're
They're
Yeah,
choosing
because
choosing.
to
like
be
As
behind.
you
so
cannot
you
just be
and it's weird
behind.
because
No.
like I would as 18 I was what's concerns me with 18 and marriage. But you find people are finishing 18, they're finishing like women are
Yeah, finishing
finishing
university
uni at
18,
18,
19, and they're
and
thinking
they're
about
already
getting
married.
married.
Marriage is already on their mind. So obviously if you're 18 and you're thinking, okay, in a couple years I
Ha.
want to be married,
I'm not thinking
you're
about
not
that.
you're not I know, but a lot of people are, right? Because you have that like next steps and then
Yeah,
marriage type thing. And then you finish university, of course you're looking for someone who is serious. Meanwhile, the
serious.
men are still starting their lives and
Yeah.
all.
I
And
just feel like that is such an option thing, and like we're also talking about. I think
how
this
did we
was
even
supposed to be
get here?
about rape and sex
Yeah, it was
education, right?
experience.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the thing I was even going to say this, yeah, this thing of like, men not maturing and like it takes them time.
Is
I
rape
think that they
culture.
choose, and let me say why. Like I was about to bring rape into this. I was just thinking about this situation because I went out with my friend. Went out, we had drinks, and we were super drunk, and all we could think about was not breaking our leg. Do you understand? Like when
Yeah.
heels, I think about not breaking, and then I think about the fact that there's some men that would like grope women inappropriately and be like it's because they were drunk. Do you understand? And
And
it's
you're
like
No,
thinking
of
about your
course.
so now you
shoes.
can't think, but there are situations where you can think, like when they now say, "Who is the man of the house?" You're the man of the
Mm.
house. Like, how come you can't
and
think and
it's
you can't match
and
out
it's
other
so funny
points?
because it's like, okay, no matter how drunk a guy is, if another man should come and grope you
You are
now,
not
your
you're
eye
yeah,
will
Yeah.
drop.
Their eye.
You
Okay.
can
exactly.
become you
It's
can
I
gonna
just
become
feel like
You
jump.
can never mistakenly grope in a man
a
will never
man.
mistakenly
Yeah,
grope a
you're not
man. It's
you're not too
always a
I feel
drunk.
like they
woman.
already know that society already lets them get away to a lot
Yes,
of
and
things, so
so
they just keep doing
exactly. So
bad
so
things
that's
and
so
giving
that's what it is.
excuses.
It's like we have an enabling environment for their bad
Yeah.
behavior, and that enabling environment actually makes them remain infant.
In
And then
Yeah,
yeah.
women also infantilize men as well.
We treat
So
them like
yes.
babies a
So at
lot
the
of
end
the
we
of the
do.
day,
Yeah.
at the end of the
I
day,
mean, some
and
women do.
and it's not even just
time.
like regular, because a lot of women are actually very like male identified, so at the end of the day you find that, and that's why some people will say they choose older married men or older men, because
Ha.
those ones have been trained by other women. So you find that
Yeah.
certain
You
men
choose
in
married men.
long-term
Why are you acting so
relationship.
She said you
surprised?
I'm so
choose
sorry. I
married
recently,
men.
I told you guys I'm 19. I recently just discovered that that's a question I start asking if you're married.
Oh
Yeah, you have to
Because I was
ask.
about to
So
tell
yes.
you, I'm like, if you want
I
to
never
continue,
thought
if you want to
about that a day in my
continue
life.
following
Dating
older
older
guys,
Yeah,
people.
you know, when I was 16, older guys to me at that time was about 20, 18
yeah.
to 20. Now, older guys to me is like 24, 25. Those
Okay,
people.
if it's 24, 25, fair-ish. If it's
It's
27
a
and you're
lie.
entering
Oh.
No,
30,
It's
24,
a lie. This
25.
in this generation
They're
of people, they're
married.
getting married.
24, 25.
They're
yeah,
23.
getting
23.
I know a
married.
yes.
23-year-old man that married his fellow 23. Please
Okay,
don't
well,
say
that's
that.
cute now.
And no, the
Haba,
point
that's
is,
cute.
that's
That's
not the
The
cute.
point
point.
is
The
that
point
they
is
are
he's married.
He's
married.
married, fair
And he's going
enough.
to go and toast an 18-year-old girl. And she would think, oh, it's just 23. So
It's
he's
not
not
that
really
Yeah.
deep.
No,
married.
of course
When it
you
dawned on
definitely
me,
have
like
to
I was just
ask.
talking, I was at work. I was at work. Yeah, one of the guys who was on set is a popular, somebody, and we
Scream.
were having a normal conversation. We were having a normal conversation, right? But my makeup artist, she had thought whatever she was, because he's what you would call an attractive guy.
Okay.
Do you understand? So we're having a conversation about something, regular conversation, but she reads something else, and so she's like, "Come here," because she took me as her little like sister as well, because she knew how old I was. "Come here, that man you're talking to, he's married with 3 kids."
Oh.
What? That's
I took a
crazy.
whole seat. I was like, hey,
And
these
he's
are
young.
things I have to start thinking about.
Yeah.
I didn't know how old he was. He could have been in his 30s, probably.
Okay.
But still, at the same time, I'm just not thinking about that's not at the forefront of my
Yeah,
mind when I'm talking to
exactly.
you,
Yeah.
Your
whether or
frontal
not
lobe is not
like
developed.
I really don't like
but so
have.
that's something that you should definitely like
Especially
ask.
in Lagos.
Yeah.
You have
In
to
this
It's not
ask
even
All
them.
these
no, it's not even ask.
stories
Ask and go and do your background research because they will
Because they will
lie.
You can lie.
lie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they
can
will
And then
lie.
lie.
when you find out, they're like,
denying your
I didn't really want
wife,
to marry her. They
They will
said that, we
deny
said
Yeah.
her
that, she
very
said that they were
well.
going
somebody that
to.
you put
She's
a
my
ring on her
cousin.
finger.
They will deny her for
Oh,
sex. Are you playing with men?
Roping it back to the question, and I don't even know
Yeah.
how we got here. We're talking about we're talking about men learning about sex from
No,
boys. But no, it
no.
was
Experience.
experience.
Experience,
Experience.
Yeah. So
yeah.
no,
Experience.
that's I was talking about how
Yeah.
some people don't have experience
They
because
learn from the men.
exactly, and then in dating, in fact, that's what I was about to say. In dating older men, you find that a lot of women have sex because when you have those kind of power dynamics in a
dynamic,
relationship,
yeah.
they have sex to please the man because they think it's something they should do to keep him, and then that person is just going to use it as a sex doll.
Hmm.
Men often don't prioritize women's pleasure when they're
At
having
all.
sex with
Yeah.
them. I remember even one episode I had where I was talking about mistakes men have during sex, and one other person took my clip, used it for his own podcast. I was saying, what does she know she's talking about? She has gone to read one bestseller's book on
Oh.
on sex, and is saying,
I
don't be too hard. That no, that's the style, that's the move. It's like you can see how
no,
the
wait,
men
what you
It's
people
not
just
across
said
there
now.
okay.
Just can
think.
you nail it harder? Don't be too don't be
Yeah.
too hard.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's some
Don't be
people that
too
So
yes,
it's
some people yes, it's
preference.
preference, but you find
If you
that the
see that your
default
partner doesn't like it, then
you find that the default is almost always aggression. Let's not even escalate into
Yes.
how a lot of men,
yes.
because sex has the depiction of sex is like, let me break your back, let me do this. It's always aggressive
Oh,
and all.
Ah,
And so it's like when you ask
and
men
I'm not
what's
into all that.
what good sex
Stop
is like,
it.
they think that that's
it's
what it is.
aggressive.
Not to mention the ones that think that aggressive sex is a way of
And what's
showing
so funny
ownership
about
and
that is that
also.
apparently, so I just learned this, or I found about this recently, is that if you have rough sex, you could get like a UTI from
Yeah.
like, I had no
I
idea.
feel like so many things can
I
go
had
wrong
Yes,
no
because
idea.
when you
solely
get
based
micro
off of
Yes,
tears,
I didn't even
Yeah.
know
you
that
get
that's how
micro
that works.
tears, you can it's easier for you to get an STD or an STI as well
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you've injured,
the
your
Yourself.
area. So there's
vagina, there's
open
pain,
cuts.
yeah, so much of that. And women don't know even things like lube.
That's
A
what
lot
I'm
of
saying. I
people they
literally
don't
just learned
even
that like maybe like last week or 2 weeks
No.
ago, and they were like, "You really didn't," and I'm like, I swear that I thought UTIs were just like
And I feel
toilets,
like
like from.
so
guys are
first,
not
yeah, you
conscious
can
of their
rarely get a
bodies.
UCI from a toilet. In fact,
It's
almost
so I feel like how even it's
yeah, how?
difficult.
Because a lot of time, if you're gonna get UTI from a toilet, it's usually be if you wiped or you wash like back to front, and so
Yeah.
you introduce bacteria from
Bacteria
like your
from,
anal area
yeah.
into your urethra where you pee from. But a lot of bacteria they die when they are exposed on surfaces. So that whole toilet infection thing, a lot of times they lie. Some people actually either have BV. BV is actually something you can get from rough sex more even than UTIs. You can get BVs, you can get a yeast infection as well. So
Yeah.
many things can happen, and it's like a lot of people also don't have foreplay because, and I think that one is
And I
also
don't
a case
understand
of
that.
when they're even hiding to have the sex. You go and do it. you're already, you know that okay, we only have 10 minutes before
Let's be
our
fast.
mother
So
comes out,
there's no
or
time for
you know, do you
this.
understand? It's like oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
I don't like
urgency,
those type of
urgency. So honestly,
situations.
it's just such a layered
They don't like it
conversation.
too,
But
but they have to.
No, but
but
then don't
yes,
just, can you just relax? Can you just calm down? Is it like a do or die thing? Calm
For them,
down.
yeah.
sex should never be painful, except that is what you're into. Women, sex should never be painful. Sex should be pleasurable. If you're not enjoying sex, then you need
Don't, it's
to
not worth
find
it.
out what is wrong, and not necessarily
You're
what is
just
wrong with you,
sharing
just
soul
how
ties
you're
and
having
it's painful.
just how you're having sex.
Sex,
Which can
yeah.
you, your soul cannot enter my soul if the sex is painful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Where did my soul even open in ecstasy for
To
you all to
go
enter? I
out.
might get the
That's
fuck out
fine.
of here. So
I feel
yeah.
like one thing I feel like is that men aren't conscious of their bodies. As a woman, if you have, like, let's say if you have big tits, for instance, you'll be conscious of it during sex in a certain way. But men, they don't care. You don't know if you're a bigger sized man. You need to be conscious of that. You need to
Why
know
you
that
try and
and
kill somebody's
make,
child?
do you
Yeah.
understand? You need to know that and make sure that it's at the, back of the your mind throughout the whole. You can't be dragging her
Not
onto you.
dragging her.
You can't be like,
Yeah.
do you understand? Like the cervix is only a couple inches. I be sorry, sex therapist. The thing where the penis goes into is only a
Into
couple.
vagina.
Thank you. The vagina is only a couple inches tall, and you have 9 inches here. You want to kill this small girl? Like, it's genuinely like, I feel like they're so
It's just
It's just like, oh, let me have this fun. Let me have this pleasure. Let me just let her feel every inch of me. No,
Yeah,
calm
that
down.
It's
yeah.
self-centered stuff.
You need to
Yes, and
calm
it's supposed to
down.
Very
be, and that's why
self-centered.
you at the end of the day, when women say, I usually drag women when they say, "Oh, he had sex with me," like when a relationship
No,
ends,
we
and you
had
now say
sex.
he had sex with me, he used me, and it's like, but when you now hear the experiences of the kinds of sex that they have with these men, of course they'll feel used.
Yeah.
Because at
Yes.
the end of the day, they didn't, he just
he
used you to
used
masturbate
you.
and he flung you away.
Yeah.
You left there, you were
No
in pain,
aftercare.
no aftercare. There was
No.
probably no lube, all of those kind of things. You didn't enjoy yourself. There was probably no foreplay. He probably didn't give you head because Nigerian men and stinginess with
I
their
really
mouth.
want to know what the
You
fuck
know?
that is about. And I need
But if
to
it's
Just
to
like,
wanna
drag
say I don't know who
somebody's,
you're
if it's to
meeting, but
drag
okay.
somebody's
Somebody's
and
head
that's
head
what
to
I
down,
their
don't
face
take.
penis.
down,
That's what I don't,
and
you
that's
can't touch my
yeah,
head.
and
That's
that's
one
why I
thing I
want
won't take
women
from you.
to. That thing is so disrespectful. I would never even take that. I need women to be more selfish because the messaging we have around
That's
sex.
actually the message. I think that when you
Yes,
talk to someone about sex, just try be selfish.
yes.
Be
And but
selfish.
that selfishness can also only come from when women even feel like, one,
They
I have the
deserve to
rights to
have
do.
good
I
Yeah.
sex.
have autonomy over my body. It's my choice. I can say if he wants to have sex, I can say no.
No.
A lot of people don't think that they can tell their partners no. So this is such a layered conversation from many aspects. But yeah.
So the conclusion is that experience can be a teacher and it can
Yeah.
also you
Other
also
Yeah.
people's
need
experiences,
yeah.
yeah, when it comes to sex, yes, of course, your own experience will definitely make sex better because you
Yeah.
learn. That's how you know what your body likes and what your body doesn't like.
Why is consent now a topic? Why not then? Very, very valid question, honestly. I don't really know how to answer this, and I feel like the reason why I don't know how to answer is because I often ask myself the same question, and I ask it even in relation to me myself. Like when I was younger, I remember how you just said that some people don't think they can say no to sexual advances.
Yeah.
When I was younger, like in secondary school, like I said, I was always a much bigger and taller girl. So I feel like older guys just saw that and they were like, they looked past like my age at that point. It's like, this girl looks like she's good enough to be sucked and fucked, so she's good enough to be like, that's how it felt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always feel like whenever an older, like somebody in SS something, and when I'm in JS something is talking to me, I can't, like, I didn't have the right to say no. Like, I don't want to go into that corner with you. I don't want to be touched that way. I never felt like that was an option. Like, for the longest time of my whole life, it was always, let me just avoid being in this situation where he's
Yeah.
going to ask me, not, oh, even if he does, I can say I'm not doing. Do you understand? So
Mm-hmm.
that is very recent. It was in growing up that I realized, wait, actually,
I can say
no, I can
no.
say no. I
Yeah.
don't want you to come to my house. I actually don't want you to be in the same space as me. Like, I want you to take 2 steps back, move back. Don't be in my headspace. Don't be in my breath space. But like, yeah, I don't know why that's. I don't know why all of this. I don't even think it's an all of a sudden thing. I think it's just coming to our consciousness now. It might have been a global conversation going on, like for people at different ages, but I think it's just coming to our consciousness now. Like we're all just deciding to speak about it for some reason, and I'm happy about that because had I not been seeing the back and forth on social media, I probably wouldn't have also come to the realization that I could say no, and that was the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I think for me, I've never really had like an issue with consent, and it's not particularly about like consent, but just being like super bold. Like I said, me and my dad have a very good relationship. So he used to make me say no to a lot of people. I'm talking about like aunties, uncles, even to my mom. So like generally if you're doing something that's making me uncomfortable, I'm going to tell you to fuck off. Do you understand? So like it was never I never had that issue with
I feel like
consent. I
I'm
knew
so
if I don't want you to be touching
jealous
me, I'll be like, leave me alone. And I still do that. So like it's not just particularly about consent, but just being like
in
bold
general.
and being like audacious generally.
Yeah.
So I've always like known how to say no. And the thing about like, trying to avoid situations, I think it's not even really about consent because I do that. Like I try to avoid situations where somebody has to try to make a move to me, not because I can't say no, but
Yeah.
because it's just
You didn't even want
uncomfortable
to
and I
go
don't
through
want
all
to
of
be a
that.
bitch. Yeah, like I don't want to be like, what are you doing? Do you understand?
I
So
wish I
like
could
that's
do
that.
that. Honestly, and it's this thing also on my phone. Like I always feel like I have to. You don't have to text back.
No, you
No, you
You
don't.
don't
don't
have to
have to text
text
back. That's
back
one thing
home.
I've learned.
You
You
have to
don't
text back
have
if it's your
to.
boss that is
Mm-mm.
paying your salary.
I swear, but like,
I
and
don't consent to you texting me after certain hours.
Oh no, even with my boss, funny enough, like when it's 9 p.m., I put my phone on DND till 9 a.m. the next
no,
morning.
because those are working. There's working hours and there's
Yeah,
Oh
non
no,
mine
those
too.
are
working
9
actually
hours.
p.m.
my
You even
working
give
hours. No,
four
I'm
hours,
supposed to
Jara.
work 24 hours actually,
Are they
but I
paying
Mm.
for
put her
that?
off, yeah. But like I do have the strength.
Wow.
So like I've always known how to kind of like say no and like just in general be like, I'm not doing it. You can't beat me. Really. You can't beat me. That's the finish point. And if you beat me, I'll beat you back. So like you can't beat me.
Anyway, I feel like now the reason why consent is more in light because of social media and
Yeah.
everybody is able to talk about their experience, and that if you say no, there's nothing actually wrong with saying no. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Do you get? And but then there's also this, you say no and then they always try to make you say that yes, that they are
Yeah.
looking for.
Coercion, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not be like they
And it's
raped
also
you
a
or
thing of
sexually assaulted you.
all the secondary school thing of
Isn't
when you say
question
no.
under
It
somehow?
It
is.
is.
So
It's
there is the same
assault.
thing. It's not
That
so
whole
that
thing.
Yeah,
you
so
But
like
Yeah.
you know that they always try to twist it.
Yes.
That's it. They
One
always
thing
try
I've
to
seen in pop
twist
culture
it.
now is that they're almost trying to eradicate coercion as a thing.
Yeah.
That how can someone make you do something? You ended up saying yes. You
Yes.
you eventually said yes, so you
But you
said
made me
yes.
so uncomfortable. I
Do
had
you
to say
understand?
yes.
yeah, and that's why,
Like
when sex educators are, and this is why sex education is important. When they talk about, consent, they use different models. There's they have like different acronyms. Fries is one, a popular one. I hope I don't mix it up, but I know it's stuff like, specific, freely given, informed,
mm,
enthusiastic. So like when they break down consent for you, you know that it is not just, and I think in Nigeria, African Magic has done us a disservice where people think rape is always aggressive or forceful, or you're depriving a
Yeah.
man.
yes.
And
Yeah.
that's why you also
A
find
lot
people,
of my
you
experiences.
you find a lot of people thinking that they just have that mentality of it has to be forceful, and then you
Mm-hmm.
find a lot of people not even accepting that a boyfriend can rape a
A
his
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Or a
girlfriend or a
husband
marital
can
rape.
rape.
husband.
Yes,
Yeah.
marital rape is even
Apparently,
the
there's
one
no
that
marital
they,
rape in
yes,
Nigeria.
marital
Yeah.
rape is
Yes,
even the
according to
one
love
You
that
owe
Nigerian.
your husband that
they
set.
fight. So it's like, no, as long as I did not
Consent it is.
enthusiastically
Consent it is.
consent to
Yeah.
this, and consent is not continuous, it's not, oh,
Yeah,
because
you
I
can
said
say no at
yes,
any
now you can
point.
say, you can withdraw your consent at any time. I should not feel under duress to, if I feel like you have leverage over me, and the reason why I said yes to the sex was because I want to keep my job or whatever, you rape that person. As
Yeah.
Yeah.
long as they did not give that consent from their heart, they did not want to participate in what it was. And I always say that you find a lot of people, both men and women, refusing to accept what consent is.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you accept that
Then you accept you
consent,
are a
Yes.
yes,
rape victim and you're a
Yeah.
yes, you
You
rapist.
are
either,
a
you
rapist.
exactly. So if you accept that consent is not just tied to aggressive rape, then you realize that, oh, a lot of people have actually assaulted me. Or for a lot of men too, I've
Yep.
raped, I've assaulted, I
Yep.
have done all of that. So people will definitely fight these definitions, but they know in their hearts that it's like
Yeah, I
you
feel like
cannot
everyone
eradicate
knows.
anyone's, autonomy. And I like that, everyone is talking about how social media has helped them learn. And because everybody's always wants to act like, oh, social media is this, that, but awareness, you never know where your video fly to, where people will
Yeah.
hear something and whose lives you
I
change.
think majority of everything I learned about sex was from
Social
social
media.
media.
Yeah, and
Mm.
it just shows like there's actually good work there. It's just sad that in Nigeria and then even on the internet you find that they shadow ban a lot of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sexual education content. In fact, the sex education hashtag was even banned on Instagram at a time,
Crazy.
because they're always having issues there. Facebook going to Senate, Meta, all of that stuff. Oh, protect the kids, but from protecting the kids, you now want to draw a line on, oh, what is sex education and what is raunchy. And other things, even in Nigeria, the way people just are very erotophobic now. If some of the clips of this podcast fly, you see people start saying, "Oh
Yep.
yes, they're talking about sex. Oh, girls, all they know how to talk about is sex. Sex that
Yeah.
one." Sex that you're having every day, sex that you don't even have any knowledge about. And when they now see, oh yeah, you're actually giving educative content, they listen and they learn. There are people who listen to my podcast, but they hide in their cars or they listen,
Yes, they listen
yeah, and it's
undercover.
like
Weird
it's
stuff.
not
I
that
don't know
deep,
why people like pretending like they are
when it
not
comes
having
to sex.
It's
sex.
not
Yes.
And it's not
pretending
even
per
it's
Yeah,
se.
there's
Yeah.
It's
no, there's the
pretending.
pretension. There are
there's the
people who are,
pretense.
yeah, did I say pretension? I'm there. There's the pretense,
Yeah.
and then there are people who is shame.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is
Or like people just
yes.
It's very
actively don't
deep
want people
rooted
to be in their
shame.
business.
No,
Because like if
No,
you're not
it's
in my
not.
no,
It's
business, then you
not.
no.
don't
No,
It's
get the
not.
no.
It's
If
not
you're
opportunity.
that.
if you don't want people in your business, don't say anything. But
Yeah.
if
Mm.
you're coming out to tell people to shut up talking about sex,
When you're having
Yeah. When
sex,
you're
like
having
something is
exactly. Do you
wrong with
sex.
understand?
you.
And that's a
Yeah.
standard thing that people do in this country. Sometimes it's because they don't want to hear the truth of what it is, because your own messaging of sex is, or literally last week someone said, oh, but why do we even need sex education when there's porn? So
Oh God.
like, and
That's
this
so
is a grown
crazy.
ass,
And you just know
almost
that
40
whoever
year
that
old
person has
man
had sex with
Because
now,
porn
they're
is not
that
crying.
was
sex
married at some
education
point.
at all.
It is not sex education. So it's very, it's a very, I like that it's happening now, because obviously these come with like wave of feminism and
Mm-hmm.
teaching women about their bodily autonomy and understanding that my body is my choice. I get to say what is done to me, and it's not even just what is done to me, but I get to enjoy sex how I want. I get to even be the one to say,
Yes.
I choose you to sleep with, not,
You
oh, I'm
just I
waiting for
want
it. A lot of
Yeah.
women, we're just waiting for who's come and pick us.
Do
Nobody's
you know, I
waiting.
always speak about this thing. I'm like, my friends just say I'm bored. I don't like, don't get me wrong, like I like when people like see me and say, oh yeah, pretty, blah 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 blah. Like everyone I've dated, I actually actively like kind of chase them, or I
No.
truly like
Yeah.
the
Oh
Oh
one
yeah,
you.
you have
yes,
to
But like
strategic
you're not
strategic
the one,
positioning.
positioning.
you're not
Yes.
the one
One of
that
my
picks me in my
feminism, I
love. I
literally said it.
picked
I said
you
I'm a sniper. Like, I get
Strategic
to choose
positioning.
who I
my
want to
own.
be
Yes, I
with.
get to choose
Yeah.
if you are the one that is good enough. I can't remember the last time anybody was like, oh yes, you know, you started talking to me from scratch and I didn't have any interest at all. No, let me
Yeah.
be the one to set Lego, directly even shoot my shots.
Set
And I
like
know that you get like, it's even better for me to chop breakfast from someone I know I
I
wanted.
picked on
I
Yeah.
picked his,
myself.
I
Yeah,
put my
Meanwhile,
than
this at
from
the pepper.
someone that
those are the
That
most
that
painful
you want
ones.
me
You
down
didn't
and
even
The
want
then
the
ones
guy.
that
yeah,
you didn't
no
even
one
want
can
the
even
guy
wear
in
me
the
down.
beginning and he
Yeah.
gave you
And the
breakfast.
thing about situations like this is that, like, when you talk about things like this, it's funny that, like, a lot of men will feel attacked and feel like they're just Twitter feminists, blah, blah. The thing is, like, if it's not wrong, you won't feel attacked. If you don't think that something is wrong,
That's what I'm
then
saying.
there
People
won't
are
be a
just going to
problem. You're
watch
just
this based off of the
angry.
fact that you're speaking about sex and relationships with human and women. You're already
They
a
just
fool
even
to
they just
them.
even hate women having a voice. It's like, what are
Yep.
these ones talking
What are
about?
you talking
Go
about?
and enter the kitchen and stuff.
And
It's like,
cook
sorry, those days are over. Those days are
over. If
And
you
I
don't
was
know how
over.
never
to cook,
born
there's
into
nothing
those
for you. Because
days.
my thing, this thing about cooking, even though it doesn't really have anything to do with
Please,
this,
let's not. I
is no,
mean,
no, no. I'm just saying,
mhm.
like, I think that cooking is just a regular skill that
It's
you're
a
supposed to
life
have. Because as
skill.
a
It's
It's
a
like
bachelor, what are
survival
you
swimming.
skill.
eating? Are you drinking water every day? Are you drinking juice every day? You don't
It's a
want to
very foolish
eat.
You
thing
not
to
see that
say.
one
Oh.
that burnt beans on Twitter and said,
If
he
he
said
had
this
a
only
wife.
happened because he was single. A lot of
I
people see women as their
Family
as yes,
caretakers.
it's like,
You become
okay,
their
yeah,
homemaker.
once exactly, it's like, I can push all this administrative. Once I have a wife, I
and
can
I think that's why they
focus.
get so mad when they're women saying they don't want to get
Yeah, they don't want
married,
to
they don't
do
want to
this.
have
Yes, it's just like,
kids.
Because it's one less woman
So
to
the
use and
dream that they've had of
abuse.
their future of, oh, let me just make money. That's all I need to do. Just make money, and then I'm
One pretty
here.
girl will come
And
and
then a
do
woman
my
will now
laundry
do
and cook for
everything, and then
me.
you just come back home. It's like women are working now, so it's so funny because men keep saying, "Oh, I hate that phrase. What do you bring to the table? What are you actually bringing to the
No, the
table?
question is, are you a table
Do you
enough?
understand?
Let's leave. Since they want something to be brought table, are
Yeah.
you a good table? If I
You
bring
don't
it, can the
even have
table
a
hold it?
table.
Do you understand?
Are
It's
you
like,
really a
nah. At the
Are
table
end,
you really a
enough?
table? But
honestly,
yeah,
oh me,
It's giving stool.
it's
not
giving
not
stool
stool. Actually,
and
oh,
it's
let's
shaking.
stool. What is one sexual act that you can never do? Never. So
It's at the tip of my tongue, bro.
re-
I'm
wh-
not eating nobody's buttocks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, there's
Ah.
nothing that's going to take me to that axis. Love and light.
don't yuck it
Eh?
until you
I'm
yum
not.
it.
I'm not.
You never
I
know
think.
what
I
Not
what,
think
doing
it's
yuck
a.
it
what
till
is
you
the
It's
yummy.
a mental
what
roadblock
is
thing.
what is
Honestly.
the issue? I feel like this is one joke that people
No, I'm
is it.
being
No, I know
real.
you're being real, but this is one thing that people always talk
Say
about,
a
like
lot.
eating ass, and I need to understand what is the
It's mind over
actual
matter. Roadblock.
roadblock with eating
Okay,
ass.
so the way I see it, I know this. You call it whatever you want.
Mm-hmm,
This person,
mm-hmm,
they have pooped.
mm-hmm.
There is, I don't know how clean you are. I don't know what you're on. I
Yeah,
don't know the energy you're bringing to my mouth.
yeah.
I don't know all that. Like, I feel like it's just such a like Russian roulette type of thing. Like, I really don't know what I'm going to get, and that's the fear. Like, that's the
So what if they shower
anxiety.
just before?
They
Okay,
can do it. They can.
And to be honest, I think
Yeah.
that also when people hear
it's
eating,
mind over matter.
I
I'm
think that when
sorry.
people hear eating ass, there are different types of eating. You're not opening someone's asshole
And
and
putting it
It's
like,
just a,
to bring out,
you,
sometimes it's just a little rimming, it's just a little licking. So
I
it's
know,
just
I
But
know, but
yeah.
I'm
damn,
with her
bro,
on it. I can't do
damn.
No,
it.
I'm not saying that you have to, but I just
just
feel
saying
like it's
like
just one
what
of
it
those
is in
things that just
general.
God forbid.
I
Because
mean, good for the people that do it.
men could also
Sure,
argue
but
Yeah.
I'm
that
not
blood
doing
comes
it.
out of the
From your
vagina.
vagina, and they don't
So
want to give you
why should they
head.
lick it? We blood discharge.
A lot of
So why should they lick it?
things.
You understand?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Don't lick me. I'm not one of those girls that takes it that seriously. Don't touch me there. I won't touch you there. Fine.
Yeah.
Valid.
XOXO.
I mean, like, I don't like to necessarily put a like say I would never do this
Yeah.
because like I've had times where I say I would never do
Do-
this and then I did and I'm like
I
Yeah.
feel the same way.
and like I can't tell my friends that I did this because I
Yeah.
was the one that shouts never.
Never. Yeah.
I'd rather die. But like so I don't really like to put like a
I think I will never peg a guy.
Oh,
What?
I want to try
Uh,
that.
I will never peg a
fair.
guy.
Why
Do you know how
actually? No.
interesting that would
Why?
be?
Why would you never? Don't tell me because you think he's gay. If he likes it.
No, it just feels like I feel like it would be weird for me.
No, I understand. It's also a mind over matter thing. It's like
I
Jesus
it's
don't
bend
your
know
me
mind
how
over
over.
master.
No, but
No,
wait.
like
Why will it be weird for you?
you're bending for me to fuck you. I can't do that. I can't even imagine it in my head. Like
I
no,
mean, it's
no.
given. I think no,
spicy.
it's
Giving
not spicy.
zesty.
It's not. Yeah, so it's not even giving zesty. But that's what I was going to say. I think that this is also partly why people hide their sexual preferences because no, I'm not saying that you have to do that, but you even saying, "Well, a man bend over for you." So what you've done is you basically said if you bend over for a girl to fuck you, then
Yeah,
it
Mm,
means
okay.
that you are gay.
No,
Or
that's not. I
no,
no,
don't
no, no.
think
I'm
that's
not.
that's
I
the
don't
that's
think.
not what
background
I
of what
Yeah,
you're
no, no.
mean.
saying.
That may not.
That
That may
in
not.
that
That
sense,
may
That is
that's
be.
where
not
it
what
can
me
be
I mean. But
Yes.
translated
like,
So that
I
may
as
not be
can't.
what
I
you
want to be the
mean.
one that will do the bending over. I don't want you to bend
So
for me.
what? So
I won't enjoy it. I
no,
will not
mm,
enjoy it.
understandable. But what I mean is that a lot of times when people interrogate why they have reservations towards certain things,
it's because of
it's
how
because you
people
have
are
a
spoken
mental
about
image
it.
for a woman should be the one bending. As a man, your masculinity is threatened if you are bending for a woman to insert something in your butt. And I always say body parts don't have sexuality. Some men like their nipple socks, some men like
Yeah.
things in their bum bum. Everything is just nerve endings. Yeah, it's just nerve endings and
Mm-hmm.
enjoyments. But it's even like the whole eating ass conversation. You find people say, "Oh, what position would you even eat his ass? Oh, will he carry his leg up, or will he do this? Will he do
I'm
that?"
so sorry.
But
I'm one of
you're
those
I
people.
policing
mean, to
the
eat ass, you have
enjoyment.
to bend
You're
for the guy
policing the
to really enjoy
enjoyment
it.
that that person can have, and now
Yeah, the
you're
realest
basically
one here.
saying
Because
no,
honestly
no,
speaking,
but it's fine
am I
because
going to like what are we doing,
but when
bro?
yeah, and when you do that, and this is how things work in cycles. When you do that, you police how men should act during sex.
And then
Then the
how
man will
women
now
should
overdo it
act.
and say, "Oh, as a man, I should never even moan. I
No,
should
but
run. I should
I'm
no. I'm
not
not
Yeah.
saying. I'm not
Who
saying
honestly,
you
said
should.
no.
Cinnamon? I
And I'm
should
not
You're
even
at
run.
saying
the
that you
tail end
should.
of something that's a big issue. That she's
Exactly. So
saying
I'm
Yeah.
just
just what the big
explaining
issue
how a lot
is.
of people get to that point. There's some people who say I would never suck a man's titties. I would never. I mean, men can be very unhygienic, so I can understand why you say I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
never eat ass. So for me, I don't even think that
That's
like
it. Men are so
Why you be the
dirty.
dirty man?
You're so
Amado, it's not by that
wait.
one.
It's not
No.
by that.
It's not everybody
Sometimes
that
you're
change
just
their
a
boxers
victim
every
of
day.
No.
circumstance.
And if you talk to my sisters,
And
if you talk to my sisters, a lot of them will tell you how much they see poop in men's ass when they are massaging them. Do you know there are people that
Hey
actually
God.
poop and stand up and go? They don't wash their bum bum.
Yes, yes, that's a
yeah.
thing.
Many
In which
That's a
people
country?
thing.
in
That's a
Nigeria
Or
thing.
they
they
get
only
up.
use tissue, and tissue doesn't do the work.
Yes,
Bro.
using tissue alone is
Using
already dirty.
tissue
It's
is a
already
good
it's
Yeah.
already
thing.
Yeah.
sus.
Using tissue is a good. Some people they don't use anything. I'm telling you, they get done and they
They just
stand
stand up
up.
and
It's
go.
How do
Go
you
done.
to
know?
where?
Go to work.
Because
Have
I've
you
heard, like
Bed.
have you seen it before?
Because like,
Have you
someone.
I mean, if
experienced
you
it
like
I've
before?
stand up and
literally
like
no,
go
I've
and take
literally
a
heard
shower,
someone.
because it can't be just stand up and go. Where you
Stand
going
up and go
to?
to
No,
white.
that's the oh god. You
Stand
really
up, wear
you
your trouser and go.
Go where?
Sniff your
you
man's box. Sniff
out.
your man. In fact, that should even be a
You
test.
have to
Oh,
even
If
stop
the
touch.
fact that your boxers are even
it.
black is already suspicious, bring your white. Let me see inside. Smell
Mm.
it.
Check for streaks
You know,
of
people be dirty.
Stand up
particles.
and go. I'm still not
I
over
know
the
that it
go.
seems
Cause where are
crazy
they
to
going
you.
to?
People actually just shit and get
It's
up
no
and go.
wipe. No wipe. You
Some
know,
don't even won't even flush the toilet. Let's not even see it.
Yeah,
If we're talking
some
Oh
about
no,
some
dirty
will
that the
find
things
it
men.
difficult to
to
flush the
flush
toilet.
toilet, they just
Some even
forget.
find it difficult to bath after they finish having sex. They just wear their clothes and they just go.
Where are they going to?
They
I
will
don't
not be
know.
going
No, no, no.
Or
I
they
mean,
just go
to.
and sit down in the
no,
parlor.
because
They
that
just
one
wear.
is. I feel like that one is very subjective
What
yeah,
do
too.
you
I
mean?
was
Is
about
it
to
a
say.
quickie? Is it
No.
are they in your
Yeah, I was about
house?
to say that
Why
Maybe
do you
like
bath after every sexual
if you
experience?
know if the quickie is very understandable, maybe you're not in the house or whatever. But some
What if I
people
want
are
to
in
bath
the
in my own
house.
house? What if you
No,
don't
but
have my
like I
face
feel like
wash?
no,
yeah, you
but
understand
like you
my
should because
no
it
I mean,
once
was
you
like
just
it's
just
I what I
weird.
do
clean
is
up.
yeah,
Yeah,
clean
clean up and
Yeah.
up.
then you
Not
go and shower
Yeah.
shower.
when you get home. Like it's
No,
very
okay.
relative.
Maybe I said the wrong thing. They don't clean up.
So what do you mean you
Okay,
don't clean up?
They don't clean up
What do
now.
you mean?
but do
So
you
you're
mean
just
men or do
standing
you mean
up?
okay?
No, not women,
Okay,
men.
men.
Oh yeah, men do
Men,
not
men.
clean
Those
up.
ones. How many men shower after sex? Those ones just carry wipes and get up
Who
and be
carries
moving.
you're with some very hygienic men. You're with some very
Wait, so what do you
hygienic
do
men.
Yeah,
Carrying
because
wipes, they
some people,
just tuck it
yeah,
back in
and
on
be
the rest of the
going?
day.
some
I'm
people
hearing so
just
many
put it
things
back
here.
in and
And
just
because they're not
carry.
worrying about yeast infection, BV, nothing,
But like
nothing.
No,
that's
Bro,
just in general, I
weird.
feel like
worry about
if we
me.
have sex and like you just tuck it in, I don't
I'm
know if
never
I
having
want to
sex with
sleep
you
with you
again.
Yeah,
again.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, that's my
Because
Yeah,
thing.
okay, no problem. You're not worried about yeast infection, but what about me?
yeah.
That's my thing. My thing is, it will only be once. You will only
Yes,
see me.
that's it.
Just let me just see
Just
that
Just
one
rubbish
really.
time.
behavior. That you will only
I,
ever
I'm
see
sure
me
if we
once.
even do a poll, how many men shower after sex? I'm sure they will not. It will be like 36% that shower after sex for
Anyways,
sure.
every woman has a story. How true is that regarding sexual assaults? I think it's very true.
Yeah.
Super
Like
true.
100%. Like, so with like learning more about what assault is, almost every woman has a story.
Yeah.
Especially
Almost
from
every
a
woman has
very
a
young
story.
age.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Very,
I think
very
it is
young age.
very, very,
There's
very
really
true.
no going back and forth over this question.
Yeah.
It's
It's
very
There's
the
no.
straightforward.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Ha!
Mhm.
No,
I
I'm
should
sure
come
to
and
share.
Share story.
Let's not share stories though, because if my story
my
used to
name
come
is
with
Miss
No,
name
Smile.
calling,
I swear
let's
they'll
just not
use
share
it
My
the
name is
against
story.
Miss
you.
Smile,
You
please.
no,
It's
no gives a
really.
damn about using the gates. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'll call people's names, so no, thanks.
I feel like sharing stories is even one thing where do you want to start from, where do you want to finish?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah, like it's such a loaded topic because, like you said, assault ranges from
Yeah.
is this from who is holding your wrist at Zaza or
Okay,
who
but
tapped your ass or
I
who
can't give you
squeezed your
guys
breast
a
Yeah.
or
crazy
I was
full
story.
supposed to,
blown
I
out.
can
this
give you
is not
guys
my
a
personal
crazy
story, but you know
story.
the thing I was talking about, like being drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So like the reason why I'd even thought about like men groping people when they're drunk is because I'd gone out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like have this like unlimited cocktails thing that I host, and when I go, I'm working, so I can't really drink till the end. So towards the end, I just like take like 6 shots and just so that I just go
This
home
is
and
just
pass
six
out,
us.
so I can just
Just six.
sleep, so I can just
Have a
sleep,
good night's
and then
rest.
like
I know the
my
funny
friend
thing
had
when we were
now.
doing that stuff, she was doing like as
Yes,
if
no.
she
So that's the
doesn't
thing.
drink
I'm
at
a
all.
social drinker, like not in a certain way. Like I'm not going to like party and stuff like that. So like I'm drinking like where there's music and everything. So like my friend says, "Oh, let's go to the club." I'm wearing the shoes that I wore the shoes that I was wearing, and like we got there, And first things first, I already twisted my ankle. I was like, eh, this alcohol is alcoholing. And then towards the
Sorry,
end
I
of the
think
night,
process of
I fell down. Like I fell down flat. So I'm like,
shit.
yeah. Then I just thought about the time when I'd gone out with my friend, and she's like a quiet, timid person. So like she was going to the bathroom, and someone grabbed. He didn't tap it. He grabbed her bum. So like,
Hey God.
funny enough, this baby is a lawyer.
Hey
She
God.
comes back and she's crying.
No, because
And
I
I'm like,
understand
my
it.
love, what's wrong with it? And she's like, so much. I said, let's go. And I go there and he's trying to do. And I said, hey, this club is about to go down because you're not going
Ah,
to pretend that you are drunk and you didn't tap.
You
You
grab.
grabbed her.
Grabs,
Oh
yeah.
no, I made a fuss and like I was
I
screaming, I was
love
shouting.
people
He had to
like you.
apologize. People were saying, nah, just calm down. He has drank a
Calm
lot. I
No.
was
down.
like, he has not drank a lot. We're all
No.
Yes, don't be
I
giving
drinking.
don't
her
know why they
stupid
like they
We're
always
in a
like
excuses.
giving
setting where we're
Yeah,
all
excuses.
so if you're drunk, so
drinking.
that means your drunken self is just manifesting who you
You
are inside.
Yeah.
exactly.
So
What
like
I will
that's
tell you guys a story though. I've always been a year younger than everyone in my class school year because I skipped primary six.
Twins.
I really don't think I should have done that, but let's just not even go into
Really?
that.
I skipped
Yeah,
I
primary
I don't
skipped
think I
to
should
six
have done
too.
that.
man.
it's
So
only me that I was head girl in primary
ah
I
six.
was a sister head girl for one term, then I
Yeah.
left. Oh, cute.
so
I was
See
the only
us.
girl in my class. That's why I was head girl.
are you serious?
Don't kill me.
So by de facto I'm head girl. Um anyways, I'm young. I remember being really young. I was in year five at this point. I hadn't gone in secondary school yet. So the school I was in had a secondary school and a primary school. But the
Mm.
primary school shuts at 2 p.m. and the secondary school closed at 4 p.m. And I have an older brother who was in the secondary school at the time. So my parents wouldn't want to come and pick us separately. That's crazy because that's just crazy. So they would get us at 4 together. So that 2 hours, right, in between when I closed and when
Oh
he
my
closed, I
god.
would spend this over at in the secondary school building. We weren't allowed there, but I was so buddy with them. I didn't know that that was the beginning of the problems I was going to have in life. I was so
Mm.
buddy with them that they would hide me in their classes and stuff, like so that administration wouldn't see me in the secondary school building. So one day I'm hanging out with the year nine students, those are the guys that are writing junior work, and they have extensions, so they're not like in class; they're just chilling.
Chilling.
I'm sitting down talking to someone like it was a. I remember that there was no girls in this class, and maybe there was one girl, but I just remember that it was a room full of guys, and this one guy in the room had called me to the corner. And I'm like 8 at this time, 9 at most. He looks me dead in my eyes. This 15-year-old boy looks me dead in my eyes, and he's like, "When you come to secondary school, I'm going to straff you." I don't even know like what the word means. Like
That's
that's the craziest
crazy.
part of this. I don't know what the word means. I
15
just
to 8.
I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, that's fine. Then I go home.
Not cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Then I go home and I go and
She's
ask
like
my mom's
strap.
assistant, what does that
Ugh,
mean?
okay.
And she's like, who told you that? Who told you that? I said, just tell her what it means. Can you calm down? She tells me what it means. And I'm like, I'm so sure because I'm like, there's a difference. Like, I know there's a difference. And I know that
Yeah.
you know that there's a difference. Like, I'm wearing a different uniform.
Yeah.
But the fact that he even knew to say when you come.
And what's crazy is that
Nigerian men
he
are
came, he went
groomers.
through
At
with
15,
it.
you're already a group.
Don't worry. He did his big one. He
Lovely.
went crazy. But
Wow.
God
Lovely.
set me free.
Wow. See, that's the thing
Crazy.
about these kind of
He
conversations.
definitely went
From
through with it.
cool story is returned to trauma bonding.
It was,
You
it
know,
was.
Yes.
It was
and
very
yeah,
traumatic. Oh.
And it's well this thing about even like the young. So this is another thing about men don't mature fast. I don't like it. I hate that statement so much because like you're not mature enough to understand what I'm trying to communicate to you about how I feel, like when we're older about
you're
our
not sure how
relationship.
to
But then you're
groom a
mature
babe.
enough to know that you say,
Dictate
I'm going to wait
certain
for it to come, I'm
things.
going to strap you.
Yes.
When I was in secondary school, I don't know, I was a border and like there were parties that like, mostly the day students will go. So we'll have to like sneak out of school, not hostel. Like instead of going back to hostel, we'll just follow the bus and then sneak out of school and go for the parties. And I remember going for one of the parties and my friend, like my male friend from my class, gave me a drink and I drank it. And like maybe like 5-10 minutes into that, I just started feeling drowsy.
Hmm.
Mm.
And I ran to the toilet and I locked myself in the toilet. I was there for over. Remember, I snuck out of school. I
Mm.
had like a time limit. I needed to get back to my hostel. I was there for almost 3 hours trying to get myself back together. Girls were assaulted at that
In the
party.
bathroom.
Yeah, I had to lock myself in the toilet
So nothing will
because
happen to you.
somebody
Yeah.
just gave me Fanta and I believed I was drinking Fanta. And all of a sudden, and that's the thing. Like I'm a lightweight, but I'm also not a lightweight. So if I drink alcohol, I can handle myself. Like I'm aware of like everything. Might
Yeah.
be a bit, but I'm very aware. But that situation, I felt like I was losing consciousness. So I just ran to the toilet. I sat
To
down,
protect yourself.
locked the door,
Yeah.
just sat down by the door, and I was like pouring water on my face. And I'm just like, they never know, but like to do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to have a conversation with you. You can't comprehend what I'm saying, but to roofie my drink. I think it's ridiculous.
No, and I definitely agree with you because at the end of the day, it's like, why do you have? I mean, emotional maturity is a different thing. Pretending like they don't know good from
But
evil,
yeah,
that one is it was like it's a lie. You're a criminal. You're a scammer, and it's actually scary
It's
because
intentional
yes,
incompetency.
yeah, weaponized incompetence. Yeah, it's actually crazy that you had boys drugging girls in secondary
yeah, this was
school.
like
Yeah.
There was
SS1.
even fam. I think I used to be very hyper. That's partly even why I don't even drink because it's like you see how up till now in adulthood you have all of these ads and you have girls say please watch my drink, because
Yeah,
someone can roofie you, someone can drop something in there. Back in the day when it was even those like Don Simon and all those things, apparently they would say boys would inject the
inject.
Yeah.
top of the drink. Like it's like
Yes,
I don't get
if it's
like
the
put
that deep.
bottle.
injections. Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
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 not the
no.
bottles.
It's
So
not
they're
a
like
bottle. It's like a
they're like
the
carton.
Tetra Pak, like the
Mm.
juice boxes.
juice
So
boxes.
because sometimes when the people clock that they could tell it was leaking, they'll do it at the top part so that you'll not know
Yeah,
that
it's
all
leaking.
of those kind of things, or so they don't break the seal. So you say, oh yeah, it's still see I opened
You
in your
opened it,
front.
Jesus
Meanwhile, and it's like how are you
Christ.
so diabolical to do all of this? And you can calculate to be a
But
molester,
How
when
do
to
it's
be
you
a
time for
even
you to have
criminal.
a
enjoy
You
sex
conversation,
with
know,
your brain is
someone
no
who
longer
is
and you
like
see
working.
those
not
consent conversations
responding
even
to
started from
you?
like
I
how
don't
men
know.
used to rock babes in quotes and like having to use style to go to somebody's
Yeah.
back and all of that stuff. It's never a conversation of, oh, excuse me, can I
Can I
have a
dance with
dance or
Nice.
you?
whatever.
Yeah.
And then when you have men acting right, you have other men shaming them and say, oh, you're
Yeah,
a
you're
simp,
simp.
you're this, you're
Yes.
that. And that's why you see people tweet stuff like, oh, or even men will say, oh, I want people to say that my wife did jazz for me. It's like, why is a man treating one with respect and decency and
Also
making
Jazz.
her happy? Why is it
jazz.
jazz? Why is your own version of a good
Respect,
home
just in
respect
general.
authority and just being in control in such a strange, sick way? Let me not even bring in this on Malay because if I bring that one, we'll
I
scatter this place.
beg.
But it just showed how men actually think in terms of ownership of women and just like autonomy of bodies and making that decision. And like now, when other men are doing things for the boys just to punish women, like, oh yeah, that's what you get for not acting in line and acting out
Yeah.
how a woman should act. So it's dumb, honestly.
Mm.
You're supposed to
Next.
pick you.
Yeah, picked already. What sexual advice would you give 10-year-old you?
That's the same question I have as well. So let me just pick another one.
What sexual?
I don't have any
How would
sexual
I?
advice
No,
for
Why?
my
I
10
don't
year
think
old
10
because
year
my
old
10
are
year old me
good.
did not do anything bad in
Ah,
No.
Jesus' name.
I mean, you see, this is why sex education
No,
does
no,
not
no,
happen. So
just
I mean, the framing of the question is kind of weird,
yeah,
Yeah.
because
but
10 is a
yes,
pretty young age.
Yeah.
but kids are
yeah, kids are
I
doing
mean,
stuff
are
by
like
doing stuff
10.
like
now,
that.
if we're talking about like progressing, yeah, like it's the generation kind of like after
No,
us. I
No,
don't
no,
but
know.
when I
no.
was
People were having sex when they were younger in primary school and
10.
secondary school. Yes,
Primary
I mean,
that's
school?
look at
crazy.
that stupid whole Darwin situation that happened where they were on
Yeah, the sex tape.
holiday and stuff. So kids are actually doing so. Not sexual advice as this is
This is what you should have
necessary.
Yeah.
sex like
No,
this.
exactly. So I feel
Okay, like
like
what you shouldn't do
maybe what
it.
you should tell yourself in terms of like sex education, you would give your 10-year-old self. Just think
Mm.
about what you knew when
Hmm.
you were 10 and what you would want yourself to know.
I feel
I
like
think that's
what
a
I would
better way to
tell
package that
10-year-old
question.
me is that you can say no. Like, you can say no. That's what I would have said, because at that time, what I was going through was just a bunch of older people, 50, 60 year olds, thinking that it was okay to just
Yeah.
be fondling and grabbing whenever they felt like it. So, yeah, I would just tell myself that it's okay to say no. It's not a do or die thing.
I think that's
Yeah.
like pretty much it, to be
Yeah.
honest, because like there's not much you can really say
Yeah.
to
Say.
a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Some 10-year-olds had periods though. So
Hmm.
yeah.
I had a period by 10. Okay, no, 11.
My own was by like 13.
I was 11.
I don't even know when, but I remember that everyone
Eh?
was having periods
No,
and
I
I
think
used
I
to
was 13.
pretend.
Oh my god, yes, I used to pretend
Because
too.
like everyone was
Okay,
seeing their period,
everyone,
I'm like,
And
yes,
there's
I
something
used,
now.
oh
wrong
my
with
god, me
me.
too.
There's
It's so
something wrong
funny.
with
You see
me.
people carrying pad. It's like, no, your period has not started. Like, relax.
And they used to, when they found out I was a liar, they mocked
So that's it.
me.
Nobody ever found out. I
Hey,
used
they
to
found
paint
out.
my pad. Are you
Hey,
joking?
and you
Please,
know,
I put
but
effort into my killing.
don't kill me. But
We used to
I
but now
paint
it's
it.
period not showing you shaggy.
period is shame. Do you even know what's funny? Like period is just even it's a
Such a
lot.
useless
Because like
entity.
so you see other people who have their period and like they're so calm
That's how
collected.
I was.
You it's like they're boxing
Okay,
you
I feel like
left, right, center.
the other
It's like
extreme
I
of that
wish
is once when I started my period, perfectly normal. I had no symptoms. It was nothing to me. It was no skin off my back. The most uncomfortable thing about it was having to stand up every couple hours to go to the bathroom. But now something has altered. All of a sudden, my stomach is doing up.
honestly that's the thing. And like the anyway, Sha, like all these things actually it also still boils down to sex education because like I have very crazy painful periods and this is going to sound like a joke, but like when my mom was alive, she always used to say that because I'm Calabar and like, was associated with water, that marine spirits, just jokes. But like moving forward, like I had some friends talk about like contraceptives, how like they kind of relieve you.
Mhm.
And like I got one and maybe like the first 5 months I didn't see my period. I was like, wow, oh my god, beautiful. And it came back obviously, but like no pain. So like there are things that like can apparently help out with that because painful periods they go crazy. I feel useless for like 2 days. I can't move. I didn't know that you could
Understandable,
have
relatable
like you
content.
could feel like you're paralyzed when
No,
you're
yeah,
seeing your
yeah. My
period
leg goes numb
and
when
like
I have
your bum
cramps.
would just be doing
Seize.
the
No, the
things that it
bomb, the
wants to
bomb,
do.
That's
the
squeezing.
bomb. What's it
It's
called? The bomb
crazy.
cramps. I'm so sorry.
So like I would have cramps where like my legs can't move. And I'm like, because I refuse to give birth. Really? So yeah. I think like just I mean like being 10 I'll probably say learn how to say no. Like I mean well me not learn how to
Yeah,
say no
yeah.
because
Because
I
me,
used
I
to
was
say
already saying no.
no.
Yeah, like
I
it's
say
like,
no like
yeah. I think
anyhow. But that
honestly,
should be it.
yeah,
And
I
then
think
also
that's
like maybe
protective enough.
advice to know that people shouldn't touch you a certain way. It's not just saying no because there are things that I know that this can be a bit like controversial slash shaky, but like you know how they're like don't sit down on your uncle's lap.
Yeah.
It's not your dad. I very much support don't sit down on your uncle's lap. Not
Yes,
saying
now
anything, but like it's just it doesn't make sense. And like I
to
don't
an
know.
extent, even your dad.
I mean,
No,
a
if
little.
your dad is a different except your father is a
There's some fathers
molester.
that you
But
shouldn't be
Yeah.
sitting on their lap.
Yes,
so it's
there's that.
Yeah,
But typically that shouldn't be what it
yeah, you
but
is.
I
shouldn't
did
be
so
thinking
so
about
why I
it.
don't. I mean, this one is also a loaded thing because at the end of the day, this is how when you start telling girls don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, you're not putting the onus on
On
us to
them,
protect ourselves. Then that is where, like, aside the shame attached or you're blaming, then people also tend to over sexualize certain situations because now why shouldn't a girl ideally be allowed to sit on her dad's lap or
No,
her
not that. That's why
uncle's
I don't
or
know.
even
No,
uncle? No, but
I
there's
don't
Nigerian
really.
uncle and there's uncle, like your dad's actual brother. It's
Mm.
also very dependent on the relationship. If it's an uncle where you grew up with, but the thing is, at the end of the day, you now find out that a lot of abuse assault cases are easier
It
done
start
with known,
from the people that are
is with
closest to
known,
them.
exactly,
Yeah.
because if you're used to sitting on your uncle's lap, God forbid his
the
hand
day he
decides to
touches you,
enter,
yeah, you
yeah,
wouldn't.
you will not necessarily know. And also, but at the end of the day, there's just still so much messaging. And when you start doing that, before you know, you're trying to protect. Then from protecting, you're trying to shame
So the
because
thing is that like
It's
I
a
know that
very
like we're
slippery
not
slope.
supposed to.
it's a
Yes, it
slippery
is. But
slope
the thing is
because
that
next thing
like
you know is don't wear short skirts.
yes, I
The next thing you
agree.
know,
But do you know another thing? That's the thing. Like I wear short skirts. I mean like we already know. I know that it's changing, but we already know that like somehow you have to protect yourself. It's just like the way they're arm
That's how it
robbers.
is.
yeah.
You're not going to say that because the arm robber is wrong, you're going to decide to go on a lonely path where you know that there are constant cases of robbery and just start working.
But this exact arm robber analogy is what people tell women when they go to men's houses, they get assaulted
Yeah, no, no.
and
Yeah.
Also,
stuff
that's the thing.
happens.
I'm
So
not
that's why
saying
I'm
that it's
saying,
right. I'm just
yeah.
saying that regardless,
No,
we have to protect
of course, there should
ourselves.
definitely be
Yeah, so like I'm
protection
just saying
for
that that's
sure.
kind of
I
advice,
feel
especially
like
where we are
the
now.
way
That's the
it's just like
advice.
it's very
It's shaky
yes, it's a
situation.
very
Yeah,
thing because
and everyone kind of has the way they choose to protect their
Mm,
own,
yes,
And
there's
also,
children and
like,
there's
because
themselves.
people have like different kind of personalities and things like that. Like
Yeah,
me, I'm super loud, I'm super
yeah,
shouty, screamy.
yeah,
I have friends that go to the markets, like, and like Yaba market, and don't wear bras and maybe wear shorts, and they're like prostitute, blah, blah. Me, I fight back. Oh, I fight
yes.
back.
No, I
I
fight.
fight back. I say
I
you're very
fight.
stupid. Your daughter is a prostitute. I
mm,
Yeah,
fight back. So
yeah.
like
wow.
it just depends on how. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
And
Some
if you
people are
notice your
really
child
timid.
is
It's
not
not
assertive, and also yes, so it's easier to even say, "Don't sit down there," and then
Yes.
tell teaching your child to also speak up. So I guess that
It just
also makes
depends,
us.
and like you have to study people, know what you're
Yeah,
supposed to say.
yeah.
yeah.
Is that the last question?
No, this
mm.
is what
Did you?
different
Did she answer the question?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
what difference does the topic sex have now to compare to then?
Like sex now in comparison to then.
What difference does this topic sex have now compared to then?
I think now people are more bold
Mm.
in talking about sex.
I also think
Yeah,
now maybe we talk about pleasure some more.
yeah,
We
For
rarely,
sure.
sorry,
It's
we
fine.
talking about pleasure was rarely ever part of the conversation
yeah,
when it came to sex. It's always okay, don't do this so you don't get pregnant and da 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 da. Protect yourself in this way. It's never, you know, you never telling the woman that she deserves to enjoy it as well and she
yeah,
deserves to like feel fulfilled at the end of it. It doesn't have to be a thing where like you're done and then you feel used and you feel like, oh, this person they've taken some of me
And
yeah,
I
and
think
all these
religion also
things.
plays like a part kind of in that, because like it's almost like you're supposed to be married and
No,
have
a
sex.
huge part.
Yeah, and then have sex, and then
Critical
your
part.
sex is for children. That's how
yeah,
like they make people feel. And I mean, yeah, so like it's probably different now because also like a lot of people are not so religious anymore. I think it's the
Yep.
younger generation actually. Like they're not so religious anymore.
yeah,
They don't really care.
And even if they are religious people, they are still there's a
There's a
very
nice
there's a new sense.
balance.
Yes, there's a new sense of like it's not that deep. Do you
Yeah.
understand? We
yeah,
can open up as a people. We can start to talk about these things. It's no longer a taboo.
yeah,
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think honestly it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're speaking more about these things. Like yes, I have a sex podcast. As much as people say, oh, all of that stuff, and people still ask, oh, how do you do that? You're so brave. That and I'm just like, first of all, it's not.
it doesn't need to be a
it's not
brave
that
Yeah,
thing.
deep.
it's not that deep, and it's kind of weird because I get to reactions. It's like,
I think you should
is
do a
much
podcast named It's Not That Deep.
honest. No, honestly, but it's really not. It's
It's
really.
actually not that deep.
It's actually not that deep,
Yeah.
and like, um just like you said, pleasure is something that we now, we talk about. And oh, sorry, I was talking about the reactions people give me. They're always like, oh, this is very much needed, especially in this side of the world. And oh, wow, you're so brave. So it's like, you can't shame me. First of all, it's not, even if I was doing it just because I was a sex worker and I like sex, it's like, okay, let me even help you. Because you even find that like some sex workers do a lot of sex education
Mm-hmm.
on the internet. But it's like,
Yeah.
this is serious work. This is stuff people do. There's the pleasure side of things, there's also the protection side of things. People need to know. It's like, the fact that people are actually having sex without even knowing anything, that
Yeah,
why would they feel like sex is being done to them? So yeah, I think that is what is different. Everything is out in the open now.
Open.
It's just that, as much as you have good messaging, you also have people like them, Andrew Tate, and the men too are
Mm.
rising with their own podcast. They're
And the thing is
gathering.
that that's so funny
Yeah,
because like in like relation to this topic is the sex topic now is more of like women being able to open up, because men have never been afraid to talk about sex. They've never
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
been afraid to
Yeah.
count who they're sleeping with. And you know that thing of a man sleeps with
Yeah.
100 people is different from maybe a woman
Woman,
sleeps with
yes, and
100
you see,
women.
and
yeah,
now people are
A key
shutting
that can
down.
open different
Yeah,
doors.
like you can
yeah,
see that the psyche is shifting because people are cutting that stupid body count
Yes, and
conversation,
like
because it's like,
even situations of like him saying that I slept with you
yes,
back.
yes,
I
he
don't know
slept
why
with
that
you
In
for
I
body
fact,
that.
slept
the
with you
one
count,
who
back. As a matter
slept
of
with
fact, I
you,
that
slept with
body
you.
count stuff for men, I don't understand. They can sleep with 500 people, and then you say, oh, I have like I've slept with 5 people and their
They're
brain starts
shouting.
paining
Is that
And they'll
them.
even?
not
Is
tell
that
you, oh, when a
plenty?
girl tells you
Yeah.
multiply by three, like even if she has
If
slept with
you
100
multiply it by
people
Like what's
still.
the
50 and it's
what's
1
like
billion,
what
it's none
like
Yes,
of
it's
it's
your
not
not
your
a human
business.
business.
being, like
It's
If you
not
don't
your
what's
want to be with her,
yeah.
then
business.
you don't have to
Yes,
be with her.
why
It's very
is it a
simple.
problem when women sleep with other men? If men are not the ones that are
Sleeping
ruining,
with them?
yes.
Yes,
Yes.
now.
If like I always say, if it's not that a man, there's something wrong with the man that made the contact with him devalue me in some way,
Yeah.
then why is
What's the
there an issue?
problem?
But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it still ties down to like
I've even had,
patriarchy and
yes, because
control,
this
trying to
conversation, I've had
control
it with
women.
someone,
Yeah.
and the person was like, "Can men get pregnant?" I was like, "You please
What
shut
kind
up."
of
Like, do you
dumbass?
get
Ugh,
like you
stop.
don't even have any basis for your need to control.
Can men
There was
get
literally
pregnant?
someone who spoke about how he had sex with like 3 people in a day. Then they asked him the question of, oh, and he was just bragging about his holiday. I did this. And they asked him if he can if he can date somebody who had maybe a body count of like 3 or 4 or something. He was like, no, I can never. Are you sick?
I don't
He's
understand.
sick.
So
Like,
It's not
are
a
you not
It's
sleeping
question.
with
hypocrisy
women? Like,
for
it's like
me.
you.
and
So
what's crazy is that when you now date, when you end up with that person and they are who you want, they don't know too much about this sex of a thing, then you're going to shame them, and then
do you
Yeah.
understand?
do you understand? You're going to cheat on them, you're going to do all these things because this girl, she doesn't actually know what's going on. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
you
love when men say, come to me, run through. Like, people are moving away from that whole. And, even when I say people like babes who say, oh, I'm going to remain a virgin until I get married. If it's your choice, of
That's
course,
great. Yeah, of
do
course.
that. But are you also waiting for a virgin man? You find a lot of
Yeah.
them say, no, I want an experienced man. So, what is now the use of your own virginity? You still think it is a gift. Why can't he gift his own to you? So
why
Yeah.
don't
you
why
don't
don't
Not
you
a
deserve a
believe that you are
pure.
gift.
deserving
Yes,
of that
you
gift?
don't
Not a
deserve
gift.
a pure person. So when you sit down and think about so many things that we have been fed about why we should, they don't make sense, and they mainly favor men who continue to do things. And unfortunately, because we're still in at a phase of life where women still wait to be chosen. It's still the
Yeah.
man that will decide when to marry. So you find that a lot of people can have all of these views, but they're like, okay, it's time to marry. Let me start acting and pretending. Then they'll pick me. Then you now go back and, in fact, both of you guys are
People
pretending.
are to
You
go
now go
show
back into
yourself
the streets.
shaggy.
You show each other
Yeah.
shaggy. So it's like, please let people just be honest.
Yeah.
And so I like that, and I like that. I always say, me, I'm very impressed with Gen Z. Although some people still say that some of the Gen Zs, the way they think is still the way some of the older
Yeah, no,
ones
of
do.
course,
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you
some.
still find that I find that a lot of younger
There's some
people
progression.
are open minded. You
Yeah.
speak to people and you even just hearing how she speaks as well. I'm like, oh, this was my little sister. I would actually be very impressed that
Yeah.
they think like that. And so I like it. Like, I like that things are actually changing. I can sit down here and have this podcast and not be thinking someone is going to my house to come out. Like, it's not the days of I'll tell your mother what you're doing. Who gives a fuck? You know what? Like, we're
Mommy,
moving
I
on.
love
So
you.
Listen, mommy, I love you.
yeah.
I don't.
So yeah, like, I think that's what it is. Everything is out in the open now, and it's all for
Yeah.
the betterment of
I mean, I
the
feel like
world.
even just generally with this thing, like your parents just get to like kind of accept it.
Yes, an
Because like
accepting
my
thing.
mom was a pastor, right?
Oh,
And like I started dating someone in uni. And like she would try to act like she doesn't know. Like she knew I was dating. I told you we started having like a good relationship. So like she knew I was dating, but she would try to pretend that she does not know that I'm sexually active. And I'm
Mm.
like, that's good because like we would be together maybe in a hotel and I'll tell her, oh, he's here. And she'd be like, ah, how are you? This, that, that. And we're in different states. So she knows that I'm not in the house with her. Because I live with her. She knows I'm not in the house, I'm my partner's house. But like she didn't necessarily shame me about it. I think we even had a conversation where she was like, if I ever get pregnant, I shouldn't abort the child, I should take care of the child. That please I should not run away from
oh,
her.
Yeah, something that's so funny
oh.
is that you have a lot of people's parents slut shame them, but many
Yeah.
of them were having premarital sex. Many of them, they
Have
gave birth
had a
to them
child out of
outside,
wedlock.
had kids
Yes,
out of
Yeah.
yes. I
wedlock and
think
all,
like so that's the thing. Some parents learn from that experience, some
and they
don't.
try to
Do you
protect.
understand? Because like
Yeah,
my mom, I'm my mom's first child, and like she had me with someone else, and she got married to someone else.
yeah,
So she has always told her children like, if you get pregnant, if you please tell me. She
yeah,
wants to
Yeah,
know. She
my mom
doesn't
is the
want.
same
Yeah, she
way.
doesn't want a
yeah.
situation where like you are now like feeling
Suffering in
depressed.
pain
You're sad,
and
and she
all.
knows her children. She knows how her children react emotionally to
Yeah.
things. And like I said before, it wasn't really like that, but like with time, and that's the thing about like trying to understand that your parents are learning too. They don't really
Mm-hmm.
know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It was just multiple times of sitting down and explaining that this is that, you need to
Mm-hmm.
understand. And like she kind of adjusted to it. So like from like adjusting to like listening to, you know, being okay with me dating, being okay with me getting tattoos, being okay with me getting piercings, it's a gradual process. And that's
Yeah.
why generally I don't like to judge parents. I think that it's hard, honestly speaking. Like you're someone that just give it, and you don't know what you're supposed to do with this
Yeah.
little thing that's in
I
front of
understand
you.
not judging parents, but I think that you know a lot of I rarely even have advice for parents and people's parents. For me, it's more of us, my mates, you know, younger
Yeah.
people, because like your life is your life. They've lived their life to a
And that's the
certain
thing,
point. You need
trauma.
to, yes,
Trauma can make you not
you,
think
yeah,
properly.
you need to take charge of your life. And that's why you see people, you know, when people someone can be dancing on TikTok next to say, does this person not have parents online? You're already projecting the
Yeah.
experience your parents, you're already
Yeah.
imagining what your own mother or
Would
father
have
will
done.
say to you,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
how you know your parents will react. You're projecting on a stranger that you don't know. It's like
I
mind your own
really have
business or
I
fight
have
for
like
your
this
freedom, you
this
know.
really
So
opposing view.
sorry.
What's
How
that?
you said that you don't blame I the way I feel like parenting is such a serious decision. If you're going to decide as anything as with anything else in life, if you're deciding that this is a path you want to take, why not do the proper
Do you know
research?
what the problem
Why
is?
not
You
go
think that
through
they
the
decided. A lot of
Yeah,
people
they
will just
didn't.
a
That's
lot of
what I'm
people will just go and marry.
saying.
Go and marry and
That's
go and
Yes,
exactly
and
marry.
what I'm
they didn't
So
even
saying.
our
You
they didn't
had
generation
even
no
knows
have birth
that.
plan.
control, bro.
Yes,
You
our
had no
generation knows that.
plan.
Like
You had
now,
no
when I
platform.
actively say like I don't think I'm capable of thinking. So my thing is I like the idea of like my friends having kids and then me taking care of their children. Like I can
Same.
return your child back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Do you understand?
But
So
someone's
there's a
life,
conscious
exactly. That's what I'm
effort.
saying. That's why when you said that, I was like, this is it's so self-aware to
Yeah.
know that that's not something you're capable of doing. A lot of people are actually not capable of raising another person, but you
They
No.
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
Yeah,
They
the
don't
thing is,
know.
self awareness is also a privilege because a lot of people are in certain situations because in Nigeria, the hugest thing is financial dynamics, even
Mm-hmm.
at least 150 million of the people in this country, whatever we're saying, it doesn't relate to them because their own financial and life dynamics are different from ours.
Yeah.
Although, yes, you know, you do have NGOs going there to these demographics, and you find that they're teaching women autonomy. You find women now understanding birth control and taking charge, you know, trying
Yes.
to empower women and understanding that financial empowerment is even the beginning of breaking a lot of these
Yeah.
things. But you will also underestimate that even that financial control can be done in higher places. You know, you have extremely
Mm.
rich people too. They're
Mm-hmm.
like,
And
if
they
you,
pair
yeah, if
their
you
rich
want,
children
yes, and
together.
it's also like if you want to
Contracts. This
continue this
business.
empire,
Yeah.
this is this. Then
This is
even
what you
just
must do.
on a normal level of like people wanting acceptance, we're social creatures. People want validation, and even just accept. There's not a lot of people that can stand up against me. I'm someone who can fight 1,000, 1,000,000 people
Same.
at once. I don't care. But not a lot of people can tell their parents, fuck off, fuck you, I don't need your money.
Yes.
Because they do need money. Look at the dollar is almost 2,000
Mm-hmm.
now. So it's like balancing act. For some people, it's just even that like they can't sleep and breathe if they don't have that familial acceptance. Some people is their church dynamics, even when they're trying to be free, church members are snapping pictures, taking to their parents, they are fighting. So it's not everyone who has that fight in them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so like I guess at the end of the day, fight for your freedom. I also fight for your
That's what
life
it
because you
is.
only have one chance. Live it the best way you can
And
because
they've
it
lived their own. Don't
yeah,
allow
And the
them live
thing
a
is that
second
another
one
thing
through
is that
you.
like privilege is a very big thing to talk about
it
because some
is.
people want to fight but they can't fight.
They can't. The thing is, but it's not always a money thing because you have people who didn't even have money and they still fought for their freedom. It's like give yourself a fighting it's just that
Chance. I think it's
fear of like,
yes.
well, how will I take this, how
How
will
will I
I, you can't,
survive?
you know, you can't handle criticism, you can't speak for yourself. It's not everybody who has that, oh, I can't. And another thing is the psyche of Nigeria. We are very like authority and the people below. People can't
Mm.
challenge authority. They can't talk to their bosses. They can't look at
And
us and look at
it
our
starts from
government.
as small as
Do you
secondary
get
Yeah.
school. You can't
that
question your
whole, oh,
teacher.
Yeah.
somebody is your
Oh, you're
elder, so
senior.
somebody is your senior, so they can never you can never say someone is lying on you. Believing older people over kids, you don't give people a voice, you don't teach people I am my own individual,
Yeah.
I have rights. There's nothing like rights in this country.
Mm.
So you see how people now use aggression, or when they now have power, they
They
want
want
to,
to,
To
yeah, they want to
yeah.
oppress.
act out because that's the only
I
way.
don't know.
They
Sometimes I
didn't,
try to
yeah.
tap into like the reality of not being able to talk back at
Yeah,
people
and
because
it
all
doesn't
my
it doesn't exist. I
life.
don't care who you are, Bill Gates. So
Yes.
who, I don't
And
care.
you know,
Are
I
you going to
think
beat me? Are you going to kill
it's
me?
from my dad. Like
We'll
all my
fight
life,
to we're
I've
gonna
always
fight to the
spoken back.
death.
And it's that thing of like supporting your kids. Like if someone would hit me in school, my dad would say slap them back. A
Me
teacher,
too.
he would say hit them
Yeah,
back
my
because
mom
So no,
said the
my
same
we
thing
dad
to
don't
doesn't
me.
hit.
we didn't hit, but me I know that
My dad doesn't
you're
hit.
getting fired. That's
So
Mm.
just
like
it.
that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
I've always had that thing of not necessarily being afraid of like older people because genuinely
You had
like if
backing,
there's
you had
someone in like
support.
authority they want to push you down
Yes.
and I experienced the same thing in uni. Like my lecturers always trying to say, I'm saying nothing for you. Like if you talk to me now, I'm good. I it's a mental thing, but like if someone shouts at me, I can't hear them anymore. So like the moment you start shouting at me, I'm not listening to you anymore, and I'm going to talk back at you. I don't care what, especially if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. I know how to admit that I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
But if I'm not wrong, I'm going to scream at you
yeah.
back. I don't care if you're 50, you're 60. And like I said, it has so much to do with like parenting, your
Yeah,
environment.
because here in Nigeria, people associate age
It's
with respect.
school.
Respect
Yeah.
School.
is not
School is such a
respect is
like.
not a is oh I'm older than you, so respect me. Because here they think respect means giving me authority by the power I have over you. Not I
Invested in
see you as a
me.
person, you see me as a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
How you treat me is how
It's
you're
how I'm
going to
going to
and yeah,
treat
and it
you.
translates into everything because if you're a parent and you respect your child, you respect some of their choices. You also respect that there's only so much you
You
can do to
can
protect.
do.
They have to see with their own eyes. They have to
Yes.
experience certain things. And it's like you live your life. I am only a vessel as a parent. I'm a vessel for you in this world. I will give you the necessary guidance,
That you
but I
need.
do
You're
not
going to have
control.
to,
You
because
can't
you're
Only.
going to be an
control.
adult and you're going to be a
Yes,
parent too
you
soon.
can't control anybody, and that's just what it is. But it's just the general, I think, psyche of the country, and these things translate. Same way men to think, "Yeah, my wife, I have power. Why are you talking back? Look at your." Let me not talk about that woman.
Oh.
Let me not talk about that woman.
I was listening to like a radio thing when when I was coming here, when I was going back from work or something, where they're like, if a husband should tell his wife to go off social media,
I
like
don't
totally,
understand.
that does he have the right to? And no man was saying that yes, of course he must have a reasonable reason for telling you that. But are you going to go off your own
And
social media
you know
too?
the worst of everything is like, okay, you people accept that you're not emotionally intelligent, you're not emotionally advanced, but you're smart enough to be
To
the
make
head
all
of
these
the
big
home.
decisions.
All of a sudden, it's once you're like, it's like, why? What makes you better than me as a man?
Mm.
What is it? What
But
mental
what you said is
capacity?
so
It's like,
deep right now. You don't have the emotional maturity for anything else, but
Anything, but
you're
you can
making
but
be the
you
head of the
yes,
the
home.
most
Yeah.
big
and even
decisions.
women too. When women say, I need a man to lead you to where? What is
Lead
wrong
you
with
to
your own brain?
where?
Then they'll now lie to you and tell you no, but you know, as a woman, you're the neck, and the neck controls
Wow.
the. So that's why I hate
That controls
benevolent
what?
sexism.
Listen, at the
I always
neck
tell people like,
controls.
just because somebody is not using force or violence to assert their own sexism on you does not mean that they're not using you. They're not using your
Yeah,
sense.
It's
yeah.
They're telling you, yes,
manipulation.
they're telling you, oh,
You're
you
the
know, you're a
neck.
woman, you know, if they'll say, you know, it's a woman's touch that does this. It's when a
Yeah.
woman cooks a food, is this,
Feminine
they are
energy.
watching you to be a slave, and you are
And
there
you're saying,
chopping it,
yes,
you
it's
know. So
me.
use your sense, please. Use your
Mm-hmm.
sense. Yeah.
Feminine, divine femininity.
Divine
I
femininity.
think you're the next one too.
There's two
There's
paper.
still more.
Mm.
There's two, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Screw. Oh, it's one. Oh.
Yeah.
And finally, what exactly would you say is your strongest weapon as a woman?
Huh.
It's my brain.
This WAP, I'm
Oh,
joking.
hey.
My strongest
Mm.
weapon, honestly, I don't think that my own personal strongest weapon is tied to me being a woman, because a lot of the answers they'll give will still fall under that benevolent sexism of, as a woman, you know, I bring this up. No, I don't bring anything. I bring war, I bring
I bring.
fights. You know, I think my own strongest weapon as a person is just it's just me, who I
Yes, who I
am.
am,
It's
Yeah.
my
who I am.
essence.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
just my energy, the kind of person I am. I'm someone who like I've noticed that we have a lot of similarities, but I'm just somebody who I hate any form of oppression in any way.
So
Mm-hmm.
I will stand
much.
up against authority in any way. You know, I have a big heart. You know, I'm brave. My weapons
There are
plenty.
plenty.
And I always tell people my biggest tattoo is a sword because I'm ready to fight anybody. So my strongest weapon is me. I am my strongest weapon.
I
Yeah.
love that answer. I think my strongest weapon as a woman, I even hate like you said, I hate that
As a
and as a
I
woman,
woman.
think as a
like
human being,
It's
of
like
course. What
it's
is
just
your
it's
strongest
opening the door
weapon for yeah.
to all those types. But I do think that my strongest weapon is, I feel like it's probably really cliche, but I do think it's my intelligence. I think it's my ability to adapt in any situation,
Mm.
sit in a room full of people who are obviously really older than me and still be able to have.
You sound really old. I'm
So
really older than
where's my
you.
walking
Calm
stick?
down. Calm down.
And
she said
then
people who are really older
Calm
than
No,
me.
down.
damn, damn
kind of.
sis.
But
Okay, no,
people
sorry,
being
continue.
able to sit in a room for the people who are older than me and hold conversation. Yeah, just I feel like my intelligence is definitely like my biggest weapon now.
Okay.
I agree. I agree.
So for me, I think that I mean, like that's there, but like, so one thing that I really like about myself is how I'm very forgiving.
Hmm.
I
Mm.
think that that's a very strong weapon because like it like you know how if you're offended by something then you don't want to open up to experience that, but like if
Offense
you
is such a strong
yes, like
thing.
if you have a friend that really hurts you, then you don't want to open up to meet other people, and then you're just missing out on like opportunities in general. So I think one thing about me is that I'm very forgiving. Like I have, not to blow my trumpet, but like I have a really big heart, and like
I have a big but I'm not forget. Like, wait, my own was not. I think that was
yeah, no,
agreement. Now
yeah.
was the
That's
opposite.
the thing. Like
I'm
I
not
have a
forgiving.
really big
No,
heart,
but
so
I
it
know
takes
why
a
you
lot
see
for
it
me
as,
to
yes. I
like
know
you
why you
know
see it as a weapon. It
yes, it
is.
No,
takes a
it
lot
is.
for
No,
me
it
to
is.
be
The
It is.
spirit of
angry.
offense is so strong. Like you
It's
just
very
lose
strong.
like you
So
just
I have
mm-mm.
like a very forgiving heart, and I think that that has really helped me because I tend to like move past things really quickly. I don't let them hold me down. And just like the experiences I've had in life in general, because I come from a mixed family. I have a stepmom, I have a stepdad, I have like half siblings. Do you understand?
You
It's
can't be
big.
holding.
Yes, is
Yeah.
it for you to hold a grudge? You'll be a bitter person. So
Yeah.
I think that that's like my strongest weapon. I'm very forgiving, and sometimes it's weird because like people think that like or like let me just say people around me that know me generally think that like I try to be a hard guy, and yes I can be very like brave and have audacity, but I'm super soft. I don't know how to
Yeah.
express it.
Yeah.
I try, but like just being able to forgive, I think is something that is like my strongest weapon because like you think you've made me mad, and I'm just looking at you like, well, good.
That's really beautiful. I will still open myself up. I don't allow, bitter experiences stop me from experiencing other things.
Yeah.
But you are the
Yeah,
perpetrator. I will not forgive
forgiveness.
you.
It's
Other people,
it's
yeah.
very hard to forgive
I
someone.
actually
Yeah,
find
Like
it
it's
very
no,
so like
like
if I
like
don't
me.
forgive you, that means that whatever you have done really had like a very heavy
I'm a
impact on
cutter of
me.
foul. I don't
as
forgive.
in,
I don't forget. I don't forgive. I just
Yes.
forget you. Like
really,
Once
after the
no.
blocked,
situation,
blocked,
it's
blocked,
okay.
blocked.
No, so
No.
like
No,
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
great. The
It
Lord.
takes
I
a
keep
lot.
saying it. The Lord's still working on me in that forgiveness
I
area.
really
Because
don't.
like
I
the
don't
last
even.
thing I can remember like really holding me down, and that one I figured that I'm not going to be able to forgive this, was like a friendship breakup. It took me like 7 months to like get over it. I was like,
I
there's
can't
no way.
allow
Yes, this
anything
one
to
is
hook
not
me
going to.
like
Yes, I
this.
said I'm not going to be able to move past this one. But every other thing that I really experienced, I've just learned to forgive.
It's freeing
It's
and it's
freeing.
lighter,
Yes, like
for
you just
sure.
feel. The things I
I
think
like
about now
weight.
are like going on trips. I'm not thinking about things that people have done that is bothering
Yeah,
me. My
somebody will
mind
not
Yeah,
is
mention. You will
clear.
not be in a
Can
room and
yeah.
sleep
someone will
very
mention someone's name and
peacefully.
you say that stupid girl.
Yes,
That's what she did to
yes,
me that time. I
very
get that.
freeing.
Oh, said
Mm.
a stupid girl. I won't say what she
Mm.
did to me, but that girl is stupid.
Mm. Well, I
Anyway.
think for me, I'm always there for my friends at their lowest and lowest of points. I'm always there to always pick them up and make sure they're okay and make sure that they have everything they need. Like
So you're a great friend.
maybe you can say that sometimes I can be very annoying, but
I mean,
Everybody's
like
that's part of
annoying.
Yeah, I feel
friendship.
Everybody's
like
yeah,
annoying.
but like even if we're fighting, if something bad happens, I'm always there to always take care of you, like
Yeah,
so that you'll be okay. Like if
that's a
you're
very
not
beautiful
okay, I
thing.
will not be okay. I'll be feeling
yeah.
weird inside.
Oh, that's nice.
Annoyance is even
That's
very
cute.
relative, to be very honest. So you might not really be annoying. You're just
Yeah.
annoying to your friends
Yeah, yeah.
because
And it's like
my friend thinks
I'm
I'm
only
annoying
annoying
when she
because you
says
love
that.
me.
Yeah.
Yes, that's do you know what I'm supposed to say that my friend thinks I'm annoying. You know my friend that called and I was saying that's my friend though. She thinks I'm annoying because she says I love you and I don't say it back. So
I said
annoyance
we're
is
actually twins. We need to connect
relative.
after this
No, but I
podcast.
won't say it back either. I love you, but I'm not gonna tell
That's
you.
I
the
mean,
thing.
I'll
I'm
Me
say it
so
back. I'm
anytime.
always
horrible
telling my
at.
friends I love you.
My own they
But
I
there are
fight me
always the
because
ones
I
that
say
can't say
love
it
you and I
back.
don't put the I in
I
there, and it's like
you even
that's
say
heavy.
no. So that's the thing. Like it just depends on the type of
The
friends you have.
and it also depends on my
Honestly,
mood. It's like if you tell me I love you, must
no.
Yes.
watch. I don't want to say out of obligation. I want to say because it's bursting in my chest. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I
And you
love you
know,
as a little one, but I don't feel like
so the
expressing it right
backstory to that I
now.
love you is the reason why I don't say it back. Cause like she's the type of person that is always like, how do you feel about me? She wants you to express. I don't know how to express. I know there's always
Oh,
says I love you. I know that she's about to ask you. So tell me how you.
yeah.
And I'm like, Not today.
Oh my gosh!
Not
Shout out to
today.
somebody who is still owing me the five reasons you love me the most
Oh.
message. Yeah, no, I can be annoying like
You're
that
just like my friend.
sometimes, but only to select people.
5 reasons you love me.
No, yeah, no, I told her that she should tell me.
Uhango.
No, so
You asked for 5 reasons.
no, I told her to tell me the 5 things she loves the most about
About
me.
you.
So I think much like what you said, a lot of people actually have this misconception that I'm very hard. People think that when you're assertive and when you don't take nonsense, they think they're hard. But it's like no, it's because I am extremely soft, and I
And
know
I'm
that
trying to kind
you
of
have to
like,
you have to
you
prove
know,
yeah, you have to jump over the you have to prove that
yes,
you're
jump the
worthy
wall.
of
Yeah,
my undiluted love. If not,
I get that.
yeah.
So
So
this I
so
don't know
some
how
people
to
can
explain.
see the mushy.
You asked for 5 things. She doesn't
Yes.
ask for 5 things. She's like, how do you feel about? We can be in the elevator.
No.
So how do you
It
feel
can't be
about me? I
too
I
don't
love
needy.
know.
introspective
It's
people like that,
pressure.
though.
Yeah, no. I mean, once, yeah, but if you do that all the time, that's a little needy,
So
and
do you
that's
know?
pressure.
Yeah.
Do you know why she does it all the time? Because I've never said it. Do you know what I do instead? I buy her gifts.
No, then we'll
Yes,
fight. You have to say
that's
it.
the only way I can express my
I do
love
know. I
for
literally
you.
told that my friend, and I hope she listens to this. I told her that on either of us deathbed, I'll still ask that question. If you don't answer that question, till you die, you're gonna say it.
No,
I won't lay
no.
it down. But
So
yeah,
yeah.
I think we've tried enough
Yes.
times.
So
Yeah.
I think that's it. We're done with all the
We've done on it,
questions.
so
Yes.
So guys, we're going to the next segment called Riddle Riddle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, I'm not starting. That's crazy.
that's crazy.
So is it only 4?
Yes. Thank
Ah,
God.
praise the living Jesus.
Amazing.
I have no life, but I can die. What am I?
Fire.
Yeah, I feel like that's the
That's not
answer.
valid.
But fire is
Yeah, yeah.
alive now.
That's
No,
their
It does
life.
not have
fire does
life.
not have life now.
What, Sha?
Battery.
Battery.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Fire,
Okay.
does
But
fire
we say
have
battery
life?
life though, so there's battery life. I demand a recount.
Does fire have life?
But
She
fire
said
has
I have no life. The
Ahem.
fire, yeah, and the fire can die.
Fire
No.
does not have life.
fire does not have
So it can
life
be
now.
multiple answers.
She won.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
fire is a
actually.
better answer.
Yes. Is it not
Yes.
human beings that put things
Excuse
on
me.
Google?
Might even be a man that wrote the
As
answer.
in fake news,
Could be.
please.
I have a single eye, but I cannot see. What am I?
I have a
The
single eye,
London, the
but I cannot
London eye.
see. The word single.
Hmm.
A single
Eye.
eye.
Your brain is braining,
No.
though.
I have a single
Eye,
eye,
but I
but
cannot
I
see.
cannot see. Cyclops.
A blind
Blind
man.
eye.
Yeah,
Eh?
Riddle. Oh,
You guys
fair.
are
Very
so.
dead riddles.
I swear.
So like a blind cyclops. But okay. Um People buy me to eat, but never eat me.
Mm.
What am I?
Cutlery.
Yeah, that's a
Please.
good
Yeah.
that's a good answer.
Plates. It goes.
What's the
Cutlery
Yeah,
you
goes.
push me
cutlery
up,
and
push me up
No,
plates
in this
now it's
place.
the
Please
same
don't piss me off.
thing.
Don't
plates,
piss me off. Don't
cutlery
piss me off.
allows.
Excuse me.
All of them enter.
Ah,
As in.
no, please don't
What,
whine me. Oh.
what 5-letter word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it? Shorter.
Shorter.
Short.
Short.
Hey.
Yeah.
Same.
We tried. We did our best. A for effort.
Okay, so the woman of today's episode is Ibuku Awushika, born on December 24th, 1962. She is a prominent Nigerian businesswoman, author, and motivational speaker, recognized for her exemplary leadership and contributions to various sectors. As a leading woman in society, Awushika has shattered glass ceilings, inspiring others with her remarkable achievements.
Awashika's journey intertwines with her role as founder and CEO of the Chess Center Group, a leading office furniture and banking security systems company in Nigeria. She has been a trailblazer as the first woman appointed chairman of First Bank of Nigeria in 2015.
Beyond business, Ibuku Awushika is an accomplished author of works like The Girl Entrepreneur and a sought after motivational speaker, using her experiences to empower individuals, especially women, to pursue their ambitions.
Aushka's commitment to excellence, empowering others, and pivotal corporate governance role have made her a leading woman in Nigeria. Her multifaceted contributions reflect her business acumen and commitment to positive change.
Are we done?
It's a wrap.
Hi, I'm Sillylostpoet.
Tracy.
House of chocolate.
Jemlyo.
Thank
Thank
you
you
Thank you
for
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 watching.
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 This
This
is
is
This is
Girl
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 Republik.
Republic.
Republic.